Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
What's happening?
What's up, buddy?
That's a hell of a fucking belt buckle. What is that? What is that? What's going on there?
So this one is for a horse I have called Maverick Buzz the Tower that won reserve at the Futurity.
And they give you a belt buckle if you win?
A belt buckle and money.
That's a dope belt buckle.
Expensive belt buckle.
So guys like you that understand horses, like if you saw someone with one of those, you would know exactly what that is right away.
Oh, yeah. And the year. Depending on the year, I'm going to know the horse. It's like you in fighter. It's like you in fighters.
I guess it's probably similar. Yeah. But
like, oh, that guy won the thing in 2012. He fought so-and-so, and this. Same with me and horses.
It's always so interesting to me how there's these different sort of categories of interest that people have that, you know, one person might not know anything. I don't know anything about horses, but you're like fucking balls deep. You know, fuck everything about horses. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting, like, pool of knowledge, the people that are really into horses. And then they start explaining it, you go, oh, this is not as simple as, oh, that's a horse and that's a horse too. Like there's genetic lines and there's certain tendencies that certain horses will actually pass on to their offspring.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's crazy stuff.
There's a stallion, and I really like him. I've got a number of horses by this stallion. His name's Spook's Got a Whiz. And they're just incredibly balanced, real feely, very, very quick-footed, big stoppers. But they see dead people. They see ghosts. So, like,
what?
Once every 3 months, for no reason, this thing's going to fucking check out. And I mean check out. Just decide, it's not safe here. We're going back to the barn. You can come with me, or I'm going to buck your ass off, or I'm going to flip over. No, he just loses his mind.
Whoa.
And you never know when it's going to happen.
And his children have this as well?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just a little quirk.
And
but other than that, they're fucking automatic.
That's a big quirk. That's like if you have a Corvette and it decides to drive home.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Most of the time you can go to the store.
We all deal with it because they're worth it.
I guess, but that seems so crazy. The horse do you really think it sees ghosts?
I don't know what he sees. Some kind of boogeyman. A lot of them are deaf. So
really?
Yeah.
Why?
So, well, there's a gene. Typically, if you see a horse with a white face and the white goes above the eyes, typically that horse is deaf.
Wow.
And so they can't hear, but they can feel the vibrations. So like that could set one of those horses off.
Just anything pounding on the ground that might be something chasing it.
Yeah, I mean they're prey animals.
Right.
So
wow. The deaf thing's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has any sort of an advantage where they could sort of tune out distractions. You know, I would imagine if a horse is at a rodeo.
Now, yes, 100%. Because, you know, this crowd's a screaming and yelling is not going to bother them. Now, if they start stomping their feet, I was going to show this one horse of mine, and I'm about to run in the pen, and all these guys are cheering for this Italian rider, and they're all beating on the side of the arena.
Oh.
And my horse checked the fuck out. He checked the fuck out.
Like a whole herd of elephants chasing
yeah.
him. Wow. I can imagine how weird that is for the horse.
Yeah.
Like it's being told to do something, but its instincts are like, no, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I can't hear
gone.
anything. That's nuts.
Yeah.
The hearing thing, there's a famous pool player. His name is Shane Van Boening. He's like one of the greatest pool players of all time, if not the greatest. And he's deaf. And he has hearing aids. And when he plays, he shuts them off. He just goes click and goes into this world.
The zone.
Just of balls and geometry. And just doesn't miss. Just he's a horrifying person to play. And
really?
Because of the fact that he's got that extra sense shut off, like the hearing, he can shut it off. It's not just that. I mean, he's also obsessive. He practices 10 hours a day. I mean, he's an all-time wizard. Like, he's won the U.S. Open, which is the hardest tournament to win in all of pool. He's won it 5 times, which is just not. There's only one other guy in history, Earl Strickland, that's won it 5 times.
Everybody plays pool, like everybody, a little.
Yeah.
But then the levels to the game, like you start getting a professional pool player.
Yeah.
And they're playing a totally different game.
It's a totally different. Just watching it, you realize like, oh my god, what am I doing? I'm hitting the ball way too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. My angles are all fucked up. Like this guy's playing that with English. I would have just hit it straight.
And they're doing a spin, a backspin. It hits over here, and the ball.
Yeah.
It's
the control of the ball. It's just like they're a part of the stick is the part of their body the stick and the ball, they're all connected in space and time, and they know where that ball's going within millimeters.
Yeah.
It's nuts to watch. Like some of these guys, they'll hit a ball and it'll travel. It's a 9-foot table. It'll travel all the fuck away around the table. It's like a 12-foot distance, and it'll go in a 2-inch spot. Yeah. And you just go, fuck me. Yeah. It's great. And then if you do that, and you're deaf too, like you don't even hear the cheers. You're just still in the zone.
It's just hyper-focused.
Yeah, just hyper-focused. Autism probably helps too, if you have that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of
little.
Yeah, oh yeah, just a touch.
I got a little, I think.
I think anybody's good at anything. Anybody's good at anything is either ADHD or autistic.
Yeah. Yeah, they tried to give me medicine for the ADHD.
Did they?
Yeah. I'm like, fuck no.
How old were you when they tried to give it to you?
Oh, they did give it to me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they give you?
And then who knows? But whatever, you're lobotomized, right? And then, and so I stopped taking it just because now you're just like, yes. You know, and so my parents were like, fuck it, just let him run around.
My neighbor's kid, they gave it to him when I lived in California. It was such a bummer. He was this wild little kid, and they gave it to him, and all of a sudden he was flat.
Yep.
And I was like, oh. And the lady was like, oh, he's on medication now because he's hyperactive. I'm like, oh, my God. Not my kid, not my place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing. I just go to work. You know, I was single back then, and I was like 28 or 29, and I was just so confused how you could do that. And then I kept thinking, like, if somebody did that to me when I was a kid, for sure I would have been on drugs.
Yeah.
If my parents knew about those options, they could shut me the fuck up. If I had the wrong parents, my parents wouldn't have done it, but if I had the wrong parents, 100% I had all the traits that would have allowed me to get on Ritalin or whatever.
It's a fucking superpower. If you understand it,
exactly.
It's a superpower.
Yeah. If you could find something you love.
People say, how in the world can you write a script? You write all these things. It's not that hard. Like once I know what it is, you could sit me in an airport around 1,000 people. I won't hear them, and I can sit there for 12 hours straight.
Because you love it.
I just hyper focus.
But if somebody wants you to pay attention to the history of Pop-Tarts or something, it's not going in there.
Physically can't do it.
Yeah, it's not going in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the superpower.
Yeah.
The superpower is you could find something you love and focus on it, but the way our education system is designed is so ass backwards. You take kids that are so energetic and they have so much life, and you just squeeze it out of them. Just sit still, stay put, listen to boring shit. And all day they're just fighting this desire to scream and just run out of the building and go do something fun.
Wasn't the, like essentially what we call the modern public education system founded by the Rockefellers as a means to create workers?
Yep.
Like that's it. You're
compliant workers
just
and soldiers.
Conform.
It's one of the reasons why they decided to start school so early for kids is the earlier you can start them, the more you can get them to do whatever you want them to do. Yeah. And the more you can get them to pledge allegiance and get really excited about this, that, or the other thing, including all the trans stuff that you see in school, all the pride stuff, and teachers are working with preschool kids and they're talking about sexuality and you're like, they're fucking 6. Like, they don't know what you're talking. Like, why are you even talking to them about that? Because you can get them early and you can program those thoughts into their mind that this is a good cause. And it could be anything. It could be your religion. It could be your political ideology. It could be being a Christian, being a Muslim, whatever. If you get kids young enough, you can talk them into doing almost anything. That's why they have child suicide bombers. They don't try to get guys in their 40s with a family to strap a vest on. They try to get kids.
Yeah. And, you know, what'll really bake a couple of noodles is if you look at, because all these things are funded, all these nonprofits and NGOs, they're often, but where's the money come from? And when you look at where the money comes from and you realize, oh, wait a minute, and it's been coming for 40, 50 years from these places. Qatar, for example, obviously Russia, China, all these are enemies. Donating money to all of these various groups to divide, to just eat away from the inside.
Russia's been doing it since the 70s.
Yeah, 60s.
60s, yeah. That Yuri Bezmenov, I'm sure you've seen that video. Yeah. Anybody who hasn't, please watch it. It's Yuri Bezmenov, and it's in 1984, and this guy is essentially describing what America is going to look like eventually, and he's dead on. Just dead on. Yep. Dead on with the communism, the Marxism, the stuff in the universities, just completely poison their mind, push out any ideas of patriotism being a virtue, all the hate for America that you have, like all the division, all of it engineered.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
Just look at who it benefits. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. It's real simple.
Yeah.
Like, just look and see who it benefits.
Well, it benefits a lot of people in this country as well, unfortunately. There's a lot of people that really love division, and they can profit off of it, and they can work an angle. You know, we're with you. And this is a big part of the problem with the whole idea of nonprofits. Because nonprofits, in theory, are awesome. It's a great thing that people are willing to donate their money. Like wealthy people who are doing well say, you know what, I think my money could be best suited helping out other people. It's beautiful. It's one of the most amazing notions about people, when they can be charitable when they don't have to be. They do it because they want to and they really want to help. Then you find out what's really going on, and that the majority of the money is going to overhead and in employees.
Well, think about this. If I create a nonprofit to go solve, well, LA is a perfect example. We can look at the homeless situation that they have there, and all of these NGOs that are getting all of this money. And the problem's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Right.
It's getting worse. But if I form an NGO and that's my cause, and I solve the problem, well, then what do I do with my NGO?
Exactly.
Now I got no money. Now there's no reason to give me money. So they don't create them to solve problems.
The
If
incentives
anything,
are totally
exacerbate the problem. Make the problem worse. Make it longer. Make it bigger. Look how big the problem is. We need more money.
Some guy was doing a breakdown of the people that work in the homeless industry, I say in air quotes, in California, because that's really what it is. They spent $24 billion on the homeless problem, and no one can account for it. And they tried to get an accounting of it. They tried to do an audit of it, and Newsom vetoed it. Like, why would you want to know? Let's stop all that nonsense and build this fucking train track to nowhere that's never going to get built.
Well, they have a mile of it. They have a mile of that train.
It only costs $100 billion. Relax. Like, things take time.
They have a fucking mile. And they're, well, we're trying to choose the path. How about right beside the I-5? How about that? How about right next to the flat fucking highway?
Everything they do sucks.
Yeah.
How about that stupid fucking road over the highway to make sure the mountain lions are safe?
Yeah.
It's like over $100 million still not done.
And they have them, by the way, that's not a new concept. They have those throughout the West.
Yeah.
And they don't cost shit.
They don't cost much money at all. They fix them quick. They do it quick.
It's just...
Yeah, they're done in a couple of months.
Yeah, pour some cement,
Yeah.
put some sod down, plant some fucking grass, and away you go.
Away you go.
But we're applying logic to a state that doesn't use that.
It is as goofy as it gets, and then you think it's as goofy as it gets, and then you hear that Portland so this is going to be on the ballot in November. It got enough votes to be on the ballot. And this is some law that's under the guise of stop animal cruelty. Well, who doesn't want to stop animal cruelty? I certainly want to stop animal cruelty. Let's stop animal cruelty. So what does it mean? It means no hunting, no fishing, no ranching, no agriculture, no animals that get harmed in any way, no killing chickens for Kentucky Fried Chicken, nothing. No animals die. And
this is a city ordinance?
Fucking Oregon is voting on this in November. No fishing. No fishing. What are you saying? Are you fucking high?
And no
hunting, no ranching. Ranching, you can't ranch. You gonna kill a cow? What are you, crazy? That's illegal in Oregon.
And that probably sounds like a good idea to one of those people. But here's my question. All right, so let's do it. Let's just outlaw ranching. Let's just say, fuck it. Well, there's 91 million cattle in the country. So what do we do with them?
Just leave them alone. Let nature take its course.
Yeah, but there's no nature to take its course. There's 91 million head of fucking cattle, and I can promise you this: if you outlaw me feeding them and taking care of them, I'm not gonna. Then they're wandering the highway.
Yeah. And then the bulls are out.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep the bulls contained? No. So the bulls are gonna kill people.
Yeah, and make more cattle.
Make more cattle.
Yeah, so now we have 900 million cattle in 3 decades.
Yeah, and fuck all your fences. Bulls are going to smash them. Bulls are going to eat your grass. Bulls are going to stomp your dog. Like, what are you talking about?
I can't.
But it's not supposed to be logical. It's all just a vibe, man. It's like, and it's not even a well thought out one. But the problem is, you don't have to be well thought out to get on the ballot. You just have to appeal to certain sensibilities, and then all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Let's stop animal cruelty."
Yeah.
And they're probably on SSRIs anyway. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
It'll probably pass.
Nah, I don't think it'll pass.
According to this New York Times article, it was one guy
One guy.
got 135,000 signatures and got it passed to that level.
I wonder how many of them are homeless people.
He moved to Portland from Denver, from Southern California, where I'm trying to figure out where
Do we have a photo of this dude? I want to see
No,
what
it
this guy
didn't
looks like.
Show him, but it
Of
said
course, he's from Southern California.
He's
Of
a
course he
vegan,
is. He's a vegan. Oh, that's weird. I would have never
substitute
guessed.
Teacher.
Oh, substitute
job.
teacher.
It keeps getting
He's a
better.
winner.
Where I lost it.
What else?
That's all it was saying. They didn't frame him very well.
Well,
Damn it.
they shouldn't. It's a crazy idea.
There you go, Mickelson.
Yeah.
Substitute teacher, vegan, and petitions organizer.
It's to have a system where we're not killing or hurting animals anymore. I love how he said a system. What are you talking about? What does that mean? What's a system? You're talking about nature? What are you talking about? Like, they're going to kill each other, stupid. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is it somehow or another less cruel with when a mountain lion gets into a pen of sheep and tears them apart?
Yeah.
He figured the chances of meeting another gay vegan were better in Portland. He's probably
not
right.
wrong.
Yeah, it's probably a good bet.
Yeah.
Solid bet.
Yeah.
Jesus.
If he was sitting there going, Midland, Texas, Portland, Oregon, where's
you
my
gotta
best
go to
chance
Portland,
to go
bro.
be a vegan?
Go to Portland and
Yeah.
take some medication. Just fucking have a good time. There he is.
There we go.
Hey, fella.
Oh, he's already gotten too much attention from us.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of silly people in the world, and like we were talking about with young people, if you get young people indoctrinated early enough to think that these silly ideas make sense, which is one of the reasons why I love that Kevin Costner moment on your show when he had explained to that vegan lady.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a good moment.
How cute does an animal
Yeah.
have to be before you care if it
Yeah.
fucking lives?
Yeah. And what the actual, what life gets killed when you're just talking about farming, just food.
Plowing a field.
Yeah, just plowing a field. Or
Go build a road.
Right.
You want to destroy some fucking organisms, go build a road.
yeah. And if you're riding on those roads,
Yeah.
you're in that system. And then there's the bees. Like the amount of bees that die every year so we could have avocados is bananas.
Yeah. Bring them in from Brazil. By the billions.
By the billions.
By the bee.
And they die. Bees, and then on top of so it's avocados and almonds. Those are the two big ones, right?
Yeah, almonds, you know what's fascinating, and we can look it up. Almonds, the amount, it's something like 19 gallons of water is what you have to give to get one almond.
Is that real?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's fucking bananas.
Oh, my doctor
Yeah.
told me almonds aren't even good for you.
Well, it's.
He said they're okay for you. He said, but
There was a time in the Mediterranean where they were poisonous. They have strychnine in them, and it's one of the first domesticated plants. And what people realized, whoever Homo sapiens or Neanderthals, whoever's wandering around, they're like, the squirrels are eating those poisonous nuts from that tree. Huh? They're okay from this one, not okay from that one. So they started cutting down and uprooting all the ones where the squirrels wouldn't eat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so the almond originally.
This episode is brought to you by Wild Pastures. Here's the deal, folks. Wild Pastures delivers 100% grass-fed and finished beef, pasture-raised pork and chicken, even wild-caught seafood right to your door. I love their ribeyes. Just an excellent cut of meat. I had them last week. It's great stuff. It's high-quality meat from animals that are raised the way nature intended. Outdoors, on lush green pastures, no cages, no crates, no feedlots. Wild Pastures only works with small, family-run, regenerative farms here in the USA. So you're supporting American farmers and the land itself because regenerative farming restores soil, improves ecosystems, and protects biodiversity. And what's more, Wild Pastures' nutrient-dense, zero-junk, high-quality meat is around 25 to 40% less than you pay for the same quality in store. And right now, you can save even more with 20% off every Wild Pastures box and free shipping for life, plus $15 off your first box at wildpastures.com/Rogan. That's wildpastures.com/Rogan.
Yeah, look at
Relatively water-intensive crop. Each
that.
nut
1,900 gallons of water per pound.
That's so crazy.
And then,
oh my God.
Here's my new, like, look, I'm a writer, right? So words matter to me, and when we misuse them in our society, it just bothers me, right? So all these things that we're calling milk, like almond milk,
right?
And I'm just determined to call it almond juice because that's what it fucking is. It's not even almond juice. It's not like we're extracting.
It's almond tea almost.
We're taking almonds, pulverizing them, and brining them in water. Essentially, leaching out the flavor of the almond and then adding a bunch of shit to it and sugar and whatnot.
Adding a lot of sugar. My friend Duncan was like, dude, almond milk is good for you. I go, you ever look at how much sugar is in there? And we were on the phone, and he goes, holy shit. I go, yeah, man, that's why it tastes good. But my doctor told me I had oxalates in my diet, in my blood test. He said, your oxalates are kind of high. He goes, are you eating almonds? And I said, yeah. I eat almonds all the time. He's like, yeah, cut back. He goes, that's where it's from.
Really?
Yeah. So you find out how much oxalates are in almonds. I just listened to them, and also it's a lot of like a lot of that gluten-free flour stuff. Mm-hmm. If you buy a lot of that stuff, it's like almond flour a lot of the times.
Right.
Almonds are a high oxalate food. Eating them can raise oxalate levels that circulate, get filtered by the kidneys, and appear in urine, which may increase kidney stone risk in susceptible people. Yeah. Almonds contain about 296 milligrams of oxalate per 100 grams, roughly 4 milligrams per nut, putting them in the high oxalate category. Yeah. Yeah, he said they're not bad if you just have them every now and then. He goes, but don't do it on a regular basis.
Huh.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that has high oxalates that people don't think about it that can really fuck you up. Kale, for instance. Like
Really?
I used to drink kale smoothies all the time until another doctor told me you really should cook the kale. Cook it and then filter out whatever the water's in it. And I go, really? I go, why? He goes, oxalates. He goes, you want to cook the oxalates out of them.
Really?
Yeah, and that's apparently what causes a lot of kidney stones. With some folks, they drink a lot of those green smoothies, which I used to do every day. I used to take a bunch of kale, throw in a bunch of apples and some ginger and some garlic and blend it all up and drink at the beginning of the day. I thought I was doing a good thing. And he was like, you're just blasting your system with oxalates. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, no.
And he was
Have
like,
some fucking eggs, bro.
He said, have bacon. Have some bacon. I'm like, fucking bacon's better for you? Like, my journey of figuring out what to eat was a long one. It was a long one, and thank God I got this podcast, because if I hadn't had all those conversations with people where I realized, like, oh, so we're, like, and now the food pyramid's completely flipped, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like I've had enough conversations where I realize, like, oh, all these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're giving advice. And it's weird. It's weird how much bad advice there is for food and for health and for fucking fill in the blank. Almost everything in our society.
Our food pyramid was created by Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Or
Yeah.
Kellogg's, which is
Kellogg's, one of those,
Johnson.
yeah.
It's like, how do we get people to eat our shit in the morning and then again at lunch? And then, well, the one thing that we can't control, when they talk about the one thing that we do not have is this massive industrialized meat production, because there's no economical way to do it. They'd do it if they could. Harris Ranch, which you've probably seen off I-5 in California, is the closest version of that. But what it is a feed yard, right? Where you get them together and feed cattle for 90 to 150 days before you go send them off and slaughter them, right? That's the closest thing there is to an industrialized beef industry, because it's a very inefficient way. It's way better to farm, right? It's more efficient to farm than it is graze cattle. So you only want to graze cattle somewhere that you can't farm at the end of the day. You want to graze cattle are great at taking protein from poor protein sources and metabolizing it, right? So you graze them in real rocky terrain with native grasses that you can't farm, can't till it, you just can't. And it needs to be eaten by something, or weeds will overtake it, right? Because grass grows better when it's being grazed. And so there's no way to industrialize that or centralize it. The most centralized it is at the packing house, right, where you've got 4 major packing houses that control 90-something% of the beef industry. And that's starting to change. COVID was extremely helpful for the smaller farmer and rancher to sit there and get their product out, right, and find they start popping up. People have opened these USDA facilities that don't process 800 head of cattle an hour. They maybe do 50 or 50 a day. And now people can go there because they're a USDA facility. They can buy beef directly from them, buy it from the rancher, right? And you can control where your food's coming from, as opposed to what was happening, where you'd get a bunch of, if you're going to go get a burger, you're eating some Australian killer bull, right, for the most part, or something from Brazil, or you're not eating something that you want to eat, right? When you go to a nice steakhouse, the steaks there they're going to come from most likely Texas, Iowa, Nebraska, Montana. There's select areas where people are spending that kind of attention and time to raise that kind of quality of beef, right? And it's being done by smaller ranchers. It may be a big ranch, but it's still operated by relatively few people. 4 Sixes is 300,000 acres, but there's 12 cowboys.
Wow,
For the whole
12
thing.
cowboys for 300,000 acres is nuts.
Yeah.
How do they keep track of everything?
I mean, we break it down into pastures, and then you have, and then the pastures fall under. The terminology is this. Let's say, if you're in Guthrie, there's a camp, and we call it South Camp because it's in the South, and it's responsible for 50,000 acres, right? Which is broken down into multiple pastures that are between 7 and 10,000 acres. There's one big pasture in that camp that's like 14,000 acres. And so then you have North Camp. You have what we call. Then we have camps around the town, little town of Guthrie. So you break it down into the responsibility of each cowboy's somewhere between 35 and 50,000 acres.
Wow. That's a hell of a responsibility.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, man.
A lot of work.
What's really interesting about your shows, particularly Yellowstone, it got people like really attracted to the idea of brutal hard work as being romantic.
Yeah.
People like really identified with those guys on Yellowstone that were just like so dedicated to that ranch, so dedicated to busting their ass and working all day, hard fucking work, and then just hanging out together afterwards. And there's something about that life that's so simplistic and romantic to people that it just really resonated with so many people. They didn't even know that they liked that.
Well, it's uniquely American, right? And the amount of freedom that is. So we move somebody out to South Camp, and we go, okay, so here you are. There's your house at South Camp. See you in a week or so. Go figure shit out. Keep track of the cattle. And you give them a string of horses, and they work their horses, and they ride that property. They know every inch of it, and we don't have weekly corporate meetings. How
do they get supplies? Is like the house stocked in advance?
Yeah, or go to town. Towns, which is an endeavor, right? Town's 90 miles away, so you go to town once a week, right? And
stock
it's an adventure. Stock up, go back.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's
a crazy life.
And people this isn't true of every cowboy. There's plenty of cowboys that typically they grow up on that ranch, and that's the life that they know, and that's what they want to do, right? But they still go off to college. Like almost every one of my cowboys has a ranch management degree. Like they went to school.
Wow.
To study.
What's a good school if you want to be a cowboy?
I mean, there's quite a few of them. Texas Tech. I mean, that's a phenomenal ranch management program. A bunch of the guys on the Sixes went there. TCU has a ranch management program, a good one. Texas A&M. We have vets that live on the ranch. Obviously, we breed a ton of horses, and so our vets. Colorado State's an excellent veterinary school for large animal vets. Obviously, Texas A&M is a phenomenal school. Texas Tech as well. Those are.
Dude, how the fuck do you pay attention to everything? You're running a gigantic ranch, and you have about 48 TV shows. How the fuck do you do it? I don't understand it. Every time a new Taylor Sheridan show pops up, I say to my wife, I go, how the fuck is he doing this? Like, where does he have this time?
Part of it is, if you think about it, so my crew, my core crew, is the same crew I made Wind River with. Like, when we had no money. I remember one time I'm on the top of a mountain with me and my first AD and my DP, Ben Richardson, and there's not a producer. We haven't seen anybody in a week. And I looked at, we're freezing our asses off. It's 7 below zero in northern Utah. And I'm like, guys, we could just fuck off to Hawaii and nobody would know for a while. Like, we have their money and they don't know. They don't actually know where we are. They're just trusting that we're going to make this movie, which we did. And it was incredibly difficult. But that's the same team that went over and did Yellowstone, which is then the same team that went up and did Mayor of Kingstown with me, and then 1883, 23, Lioness, Landman, all of them. And we've promoted from within. I've got PAs that are now first ADs. I've got camera operators that are now directors. So we've promoted from within, so everyone understands the way we do it, and it's so friggin' efficient. We don't ever have, and because you've been in this industry forever, these people will have meetings upon meeting upon meeting. They'll have a tone meeting where a whole bunch of people are going to sit around and try and talk about the tone of the script. What, didn't you read the fucking thing? We have to have a meeting about it? How about we don't have a meeting about it? And then they'll have a, and this is also networks. They love this shit so that they can have a reason for their existence, right? All these middle management people. And they want to do a prop show and tell where someone's going to come show them all the props that we're going to use.
Really?
Well, we don't do that shit because I'm like, I need your permission to use which Bic lighter I'm going to use in this fucking scene. How about I just make the decision? And how about we use the same Bic lighter in all these fucking shows and I don't ever have to pick a Bic lighter again? How about that? So we just streamlined it and made it to where it's so efficient. Typically a TV show will start up and they'll prep for 12 weeks before they start filming. We do it in 4.
Wow. Well, that makes sense. It makes sense that it's streamlined because I've been on shows when they first start out and it's chaos and there's a lot of network involvement and there's a lot of bullshit. But then once it gets going, they go, oh, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're there from the beginning now.
That's beautiful.
We haven't missed. If you don't miss.
Right. Well, it's like you don't miss. Like you don't miss with the writing. You don't miss with the storylines. Like you don't have any duds, man, which is just incredible. It's an incredible accomplishment to have that many fucking shows and all of them be good. And all of them be, like very addictive. Landman is so addictive.
It's that show. It's about something very serious, and then I can just throw shit at it.
Yeah.
Let's just take a bunch of old people to a strip club.
Billy Bob is fucking awesome.
He's a genius.
I love that guy. Yeah. He's so good on that show. It's like it was made for him.
It was made for him.
I mean, he's done so many things.
I went to Billy Bob before I wrote a word, and I told him, I said, if you don't do this, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to chase my tail. He goes, well, what is it? I said, basically, I want to take your character from Bad Santa and put him in West Texas and run an oil company. He goes, you want the guy from Bad Santa to run an oil company? I said, that's what I want. He goes, that sounds fucking awesome. Like, yeah.
Well, it's educational too. I mean, a lot of people have no idea how the oil business works, and you watch that show, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, what a crazy job.
It's an insane job, and the other thing about it is we're so completely dependent upon petroleum in every single aspect of our lives. So completely dependent upon it, and we can debate how bad it is or isn't, and or not debate it. The reality is we don't have an alternative. Like it does not exist. It simply doesn't exist. And we could sit there and say, well, wind and this. No. You sit down with any climatologist and any engineer, they're going to tell you our best hope for a replacement of petroleum fuels is cold fusion, and we're 30, 40 years from it being something that we can rely upon. And reduced little nuclear reactors, like itty bitties, like the size of this coffee pot.
That's what they're talking about. They're talking about like individual reactors that people have in their homes. I'm like, how long does it take before there's disasters? Like that sounds fucking. Having a really good nuclear power plant for a city is an awesome idea. Having everyone have their own nuclear power plant sounds fucking crazy.
You know,
How many assholes are going to cut into that thing?
Well, people still put fucking metal in microwaves, so
Right.
I don't think we should
On
be
purpose.
giving. Yeah. I've done it. I'm like, well, how bad can it really be?
There's people that leave their fucking gas on so
Yeah.
that someone can die in the house.
No, we don't need.
People are nuts.
Yeah.
People are nuts. If you literally have consumer level nuclear power plants, not with these monkeys, not with the human beings that we are today, our current form, we're not enlightened enough to have personal nuclear power plants in our house.
No.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So we're dependent upon it.
Well,
and
that's
we'll
why
be.
we're in Iran right now.
Oh, yeah.
And also because of Israel. But I mean, we're in Iran. I mean, the whole thing about it is the oil. The Strait of Hormuz. It's like, I think it's 40% of the world's oil supply passes through there.
Yeah.
Christ.
No, that's and I think also China. Mm-hmm. It's a big play against. It's a chess piece against China. Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
Yeah, all of it's fucking terrifying.
What and I'm not saying we should have or we shouldn't have. I'm not commenting politically, but what those SF guys did in Venezuela was fucking gangster.
It's crazy.
Whether I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm just saying.
Right.
The team was sent, and then the team. I mean, can you imagine if I wrote it in a movie? People would go, "That's fucking ridiculous, Taylor."
Right.
You're
You're
gonna
have that tech yet.
Fly a bunch of SF dudes, drop them off on the roof of this high rise, surrounded by the fucking Cuban special forces, and they're gonna kill all of them, and then they're gonna fucking snatch him and his wife, go back to the roof, and just fucking fly away. That's what they
Right.
did.
And they're going to do it with sound. They're going to disable everyone with a sound weapon. Like, what? Like, do you remember when they first started talking about that Havana syndrome and
Yeah.
people were dismissing it? This is horseshit. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, no, they're talking about people that are in Havana, that they've been targeted, something zapped them.
Low level frequencies that made them nauseous.
Yeah. And I think that is a fraction of whatever they unleashed in Venezuela.
Who knows?
The discombobulator, that's what it's called. A classified secret weapon system President Donald Trump claimed U.S. forces used during the January 3rd operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. He stated that the weapon successfully disabled enemy equipment and air defenses, preventing them from firing back. So it's both, it disables the people and it disables their weapon system. What?
That's amazing.
What the fuck are we doing? Official silence when asked for specific technical or operational details about how the device functions. Trump famously told New York Post, "I'm not allowed to talk about it." He says they press buttons. He claimed the defense forces pressed buttons and nothing worked, disabling both Russian and Chinese-made rockets and radar. Wow. The weapon affected both mechanical equipment and personnel. He also referred to a sonic weapon being used against Maduro's Cuban security detail inside a heavily fortified fortress. Fucking A, man. I would love to see what that looks like. You know, I bet they have video too. I bet
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All wearing GoPros.
I'd love to go into a skiff. Just show me the video. I won't say nothing. I want to see what it looks like. I just want to watch. What does it look like when somebody gets zapped by sound and gets fully disabled? Like, apparently they just fell to the ground in agony. They couldn't move.
Yeah.
And they just went in and shot
And
everybody.
then some freaking SF snipers
Yeah.
are just freaking on top of that, just
Crazy.
raining down on them. It's
Crazy. Like, that guy thought he was safe. Crazy. And there's a famous video of him saying, "Come and get me."
oh yeah,
Bro.
yeah. Be careful. Don't what bear you poke.
Yeah. Also, it's like none of us know what the tip of the spear technology in weapon systems is available right now. We don't know. They don't tell us. They don't tell us. Obviously, no one knew that this fucking discombobulator thing existed.
No.
This is science fiction.
Yeah.
Right? If this was 20 years ago, you'd be like, that's not a real thing. But now you're like, oh shit, they used it? It's not just a concept, they fucking used it? What else? What are they cooking out in the desert in the middle of Nevada? Who knows?
Yeah, and think about this. For that to be used, there's something 4 generations past that
100%.
that they're playing with now.
Yeah, 100%. You know, this whole UAP world stuff, like when they start talking about UAPs, all of my bullshit alarms go off. All of them. It's like, I don't believe if you knew things, you would tell us. So I don't believe you're telling us the truth. I think they have some special access programs that they've been working on for decades and decades, and some super high level shit that involves some sort of novel propulsion system, and they have that stuff flying around in the sky. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. That doesn't discount the idea that there's something else out there, because I think there is, but I think there's a giant chunk of the shit that people are seeing that's ours.
Yeah, testing.
Yeah, testing, doing stuff with it.
If there was an intelligent life form that had stumbled upon our barbaric asses, why would they not go, hey, guys, fire up that fucking missile and we found this blue planet, we got to get rid of this thing.
Well, I think maybe every intelligent species that's tribal and territorial has to go through an adolescent period of their evolution. And if you look at human history, I was reading about Vlad the Impaler last night. Jesus Christ, and how many of the Ottoman Turks that got killed, and his famous methods of putting people on posts and separating them down the line on the road, so that as these poor guys are traveling to go and fight him, they just see the enemy stuck on skewers and in geometric patterns and shit. He would do them in like stars and stuff. He was a vicious motherfucker, and he's the motivation behind, or the inspiration behind Dracula.
Yep.
And I was reading about that guy. I'm like, fuck, people have always been awful.
Yeah.
They've always been awful. But they just, like, as time goes on, they get a little less awful. A little less. Like, we're a little less awful now than we were during Nazi Germany. Not totally great.
Not collectively.
Right. We're still willing to do genocide. Some of us are. But it's less approved. It's less. More people are horrified at it. It's like human beings are getting a little bit better. It's not as quick as we'd like. And I think if I was an alien life form, I would say you have to wait this out. It's like if you have a kid, you got to let the kid fall down and stumble. You got to let him get hurt. You got to let things happen. You got to let him fuck up and figure it out himself. You got to figure this out. Make it right. You fucked this up. You got to give him a chance to become better.
Right.
I think as a civilization, I would think the same thing would apply. You have to give this civilization time to evolve and adapt and get past where it's at right now. And I don't think that you do that by intervening and like grabbing us by the hand and showing us the way. I think what you do is you hang back and make sure that we don't nuke each other, and just sort of pay attention to all the different international ongoings, and just let human beings slowly but surely evolve. Yeah. That's what I would do if I was an intelligent life form observing people.
The interesting thing that we're, as a civilization, facing now, and it's always happened in some capacity when a society gets wealthy, really wealthy, then people start to question wealth and how can we be more equitable? And it comes across like compassion, but it really comes down to a debate of what is more valuable to a society? Is self-determination more valuable, or is equity more valuable? And by equity, what I mean is everyone gets exactly the same shit. Everyone. So you take them off we're not on a monetary society anymore. Now you're working for the collective, and you're hearing that word thrown around a lot these days. But the problem with working for the collective is who decides who picks up the trash? And who decides who gets to go represent your nation at the Olympics? Who gets to decide who gets to, is someone going to let me go make TV shows? Which, by the way, I wouldn't do for free. It's too fucking hard.
Right.
So now I don't want to do it. Well, then you got to go do this. Well, I don't want to do that either. And that's the problem.
And then they force you to do things.
Yeah.
And then how do they do that? They do that with guns.
Yeah. So you either have self-determination, or in your attempt to be collective, you have to surrender that. And then you're surrendering it to who? And now you have a dictatorship, no matter what the fuck you thought you had.
Yeah.
It always comes back to that. You can look at Marxism and Leninism and what Lenin was talking about, his hopes, whether they were his hopes or not. But it devolved into an authoritarian regime very, very quickly. And communism, socialism, fascism, Nazism, they're all very, very similar. The differences are superficial. I think Ayn Rand said that they're just superficial variations between the exact same thing, which is the evil of the collective.
The evil of a collective, and human beings desire to control their people.
Yeah.
They love to. And anytime you give them a chance where they can feel righteous about controlling people, they jump at it. And they have an opportunity to classify people. There's good people and bad people. And the bad people, you can do whatever you want to them. They're the other. And that happens with every time groups get into power like that and tell you what you can and can't do. And you're seeing that being embraced shockingly more and more all over the world. People are embracing more government power and more government control. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy to see.
It's unique. I think that, number one, I think in 30 years when they look back, like we're still suffering from a society from COVID, like still. And not so much from the disease itself, but from our faith in the institutions around us, whether it's government, whether it's the media, whether it's pharmaceutical companies, and the way that it was manipulated to gain power for a political group. And it was effective. And so when something's effective, then people just keep doing the same thing until it's no longer effective, right? We did that in our military with the wins, hearts, and minds, right? So that all comes from Japan, right? We're going to win the hearts and minds of Japanese. Well, the Japanese surrendered. Like their emperor, who they looked at as a god, he told the people of Japan after we dropped 2 frickin' nuclear bombs on them, hey, we are going to endure the unendurable. We are going to surrender. It's the only way that we can salvage our nation. So they willfully surrendered. And then our government goes, look how great this hearts and minds stuff's working. It's not working. It's not working at all. And then they tried it in Vietnam, didn't work. Tried it everywhere else that we've had a conflict, we've tried it, and it hasn't worked yet because what it was based on was flawed, right? Because they chose to be subjugated at that time. And making that choice kept them an independent nation. So our government, and it's so dangerous what we're seeing. You can like Trump or not like Trump. It doesn't. People are going to like presidents and dislike presidents, but now defying the rule of law because he happens to be the head of the federal government and openly defying the federal government, the repercussions of that are going to be, okay, fine, you can't stand this man, you think he's a terrible president, and you're not going to follow his laws, but that's the new normal now. So when a president gets in that you do support, then the other side, because we've established this precedent, they're just not going to follow his laws either.
Right.
And now we've eroded the rule of law. And and then what happens?
The slippery slope is very dangerous. I was saying that when the ICE raids were going on because I was like, okay, I am not in favor of illegal criminals being in this country. However, we're setting a very alarming precedent where you have masked, militarized police with no ID that are running around the cities snatching people up. Like this could set a precedent that could be used by the left if they get into power for something different than than just for ICE. We've already accepted the idea of militarized police on our streets, and that people with 7 weeks training, you're just sending them out to snatch up people. And a lot of American citizens are getting caught up in that trap too, unfortunately, and then they have to get released. Like that could be bad if the next party gets in. So if the Democrats get in next and they decide, like maybe there's a new COVID strain happens, some new pandemic happens, whatever the fuck.
And if you don't get the vaccine, they're going to arrest you, and then they start the same.
Yes. We saw it in, I think it was Minnesota, or whoever they had the National Guard on the streets, but they had people enforcing lockdowns. And so they had people walking on the streets with fucking guns, yelling at people to get in your house over a cold. Like these kind of slippery slopes, you might think, no, we're just trying to get rid of the bad immigrants. I get it. I'm with you. I agree. However, the way they're doing it, and I don't know, I'm not even saying there's another way or a better way. I'm just saying, you want to get them out all at once? Yeah, that's the way to do it. You want to get them out quick? That's the way to do it. Because they got them in quick. You're right. They opened the fucking border. They helped people get in. But now that they're in, if you're going to get them out that way, you're setting a weird precedent. You're setting a precedent that could be used in other ways.
Yeah, that's the challenge is, okay, we need to enforce the law, right? Or don't have them, right? They've enacted no new laws. These are the same immigration laws that were on the books when Obama was president and Clinton was president. They're the same rules. It's the methodology, and you gotta sit there and weigh the pros and cons about, okay, the pros of trying to eradicate this issue. You can't give it a deadline. Yeah. Right. It's slippery.
It is slippery.
And again, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And these politicians right now who are doing all of us a tremendous disservice in Washington, I feel, our elected officials, because they're not thinking beyond this next election. And maybe they never have.
They never have.
Right. But they were better at hiding it, maybe.
I think there was no internet.
But, well, true.
I think that's what it is. There was no social media.
But I think we've reached a point as politicians talk about eliminating the Electoral College, they talk about eliminating the filibuster, eliminate packing courts, all these things because their side's not in power. And so we're just going to take the structure of the government and totally rework it to benefit us temporarily. But then those same benefits that you have now will be used against you. Yeah. They will 100% be used against you. I think the most important legislation that we could pass right now is term limits. I think 12 years tops in Congress, and I think probably 12 years in the Senate. 2 6-year terms in the Senate.
That's more than enough time.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking time.
That's enough. We don't need anyone else. I mean, I don't know how it's become. How the fuck is Nancy Pelosi worth $400 million? How the fuck? Well, I know how. Yeah, she gets in on all these fucking IPOs.
Exactly.
Right. She's going to pass the legislation that allows Visa to go public, and then she's going to get a big chunk of it. And then when she's confronted about it, look a reporter dead in the eye and fucking lie to him. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do that.
No
It's
consequences.
public. We know you did it. We could look at how much stock you own.
Yeah.
You fucking liar.
They all do it.
Yes.
People are calling out Rogan on Twitter
they get
today.
Fucking rich. Everyone's getting rich.
Yeah.
They get paid $175,000 a year, and they're all fucking millionaires.
Super millionaires. Yeah, they're all like she's intensely wealthy. That's almost $500 million. That's nuts. As a public servant, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's insanity.
And it's that's what we're used to. We know it's bad, and we just accept it. And people are busy, and they have families and mortgages and shit to deal with, and so they complain and they keep on trucking.
Yeah, I mean, I have, as we discussed, I have other jobs. I don't have a pile of time to dedicate to. It's tough for me to talk politics because I don't have hours in my day to sift through what's real and not real on Instagram or social, whatever. I'm not on that shit, but I can't. It's hard to form an opinion because, man, I don't know, and I don't know where to go to get honest news. I'm not the news. I know that. I can't turn on the fucking news because they fucking been lying to us. They stopped being. I don't know if they were ever impartial, but I know that. I remember there was a guy. I was a kid. He was running for president. His name was Jack Kemp.
I remember Jack Kemp.
And I want to say it was Dan Rather. It may not have been. It may have been some other newscaster. And there's a debate amongst all these different potential candidates for president. And as he's introducing all of these various politicians, he's saying so-and-so, Harvard graduate and law professor from here, and this former senator and this and that and the other, and this person here. And they get to Jack Kemp, and he goes, backup quarterback and born-again Christian Jack Kemp. I'm like, wow, you just sunk that dude. Everyone else, you gave what their jobs were and talked about their accomplishments in this. You just said he didn't start at quarterback, and you call that his religion, dude. And that's the first time I ever remember. I'm like, I know your opinion. I'm not supposed to know your opinion. Right. You're supposed to be giving me news.
Right.
You're supposed to be giving me honest, unbiased information so I can make a decision. And you're making a decision for me, or trying to.
Yeah.
And they've gotten so, as news became entertainment, I mean, CNN's the worst thing that ever happened to news because it's 24 hours. And now all of a sudden, there's not 24 hours worth of news all the time, right? There is during a war, right? You can show us news, war footage the whole time and talk about the war and why no war. But when there's not, you got to make some shit up or push an opinion. And that's where we've gotten with news now. Now news is piss them off and scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's how we keep them watching.
And that's the business model.
It is now.
And it's also piss them off and scare the shit out of them, but ignore certain things that your sponsors wouldn't like you to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why, Tulsi Gabbard, in her final act as Director of National Intelligence, as she's leaving, she gave that press conference about Fauci. And she talked about how he lied in front of Congress and that he absolutely used American tax funds to fund gain-of-function research through EcoHealth Alliance and through the Wuhan lab in Wuhan, China. And, no one's covering it. This episode is brought to you by Visible. How many of you are currently listening to this podcast on your phone? If you are chronically online, like most of us are these days, your wireless network should be too. With Visible, you get unlimited 5G and unlimited hotspot, all powered by Verizon's 5G network. The perks of big wireless for half the cost. Visible isn't just a wireless plan. It's unlimited wireless designed to keep you connected and no contract holding you back. Switch today at Visible.com. Plans start at just $25 a month. Or get our premium Visible Plus Pro plan and save $10 on your first month when you use promo code Rogan, an exclusive offer for podcast listeners.
No. And by the way, didn't we all know that already?
Well, we knew it, but my parents didn't. People that just read the newspapers and watch TV, they don't know.
I've never seen anything as flagrantly obvious as COVID coming from the Wuhan lab studying COVID.
Right.
Right. I've never, and you've got fucking news anchors keeping a straight face saying it came from the wet market.
Did you ever see Jon Stewart's bit on it that he did on the Colbert Show?
No.
You never saw it?
No.
Oh, we need to play it. Let's play it because it's so funny because Colbert tries to stop him from doing it and push back. And John, he's a great comic. He just gets up from his chair and gets louder and just plows through it.
Really?
Over Colbert's trying to cock block his bit. He's like, it's a funny bit. And he's getting in the way. Oh, I'd like to see, if you have information on that, I'd like to see it. And he just keeps going. He keeps plowing away. It's very funny. And it's in the middle of it, right? This was a courageous step because he was doing this when calling it out and saying that it came from a lab in Wuhan, China was somehow or another conflated with racism. Remember that?
Yeah.
If you said it came from Wuhan, China, from a lab, you're racist.
Yeah.
How did you pull that off? It's like no one's saying anything. It's racist. It's from fucking China, and it seems like EcoHealth Alliance funded it, and it seems like we funded EcoHealth Alliance.
Yes.
There's a lot of fucking paperwork.
And by the way, there's studies on the fucking disease that they've been doing that are posted on the CDC website. They're posted on the fucking. My favorite was when you catch all this shit about ivermectin.
Yeah.
And literally when that happened, I went, oh, I'll fucking look that up. Look up ivermectin, and studies with ivermectin, and a study pops up on the CDC website while people are telling us to not take that shit, and it talks about the efficacy of ivermectin and antiviral properties, specifically COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it's on the government website that the fucking drug works while they're telling everyone to not take it.
And they're mocking me for taking
Yes.
horse dewormer. Watch this. This is great. No, you stop because he still wants to put out that establishment position. I'd like to see any evidence, if you've got any evidence. Yeah. Well, wild times in the news, because I think from then on, that sort of sent a shockwave through the majority of the population where just whatever trust they had in the news just got severely eroded.
Yeah.
And if we don't have good news, if we don't have trust in the news, then we're kind of adrift. And then you get locked into fucking conspiracy theories and echo chambers online, and you can get trapped in them too, and that's not good either.
Yeah, then there's nowhere to go get information.
Has anybody in NBC, CBS, CNN, have any of those people picked up on that Tulsi Gabbard speech about Fauci and had any sort of a reaction to it? I'd like to know that. Because from what I was reading online, none of them had. But this was as of yesterday. I don't know whether or not that's changed. I don't know if they were preparing an article and they wanted to make sure that they got all their ducks in a row.
I would think pretty much any time the head of an institute is begging for a pardon when he hasn't been charged with any crime is a pretty good indicator. You might want to look and see if there's been a crime committed.
Was he begging for a pardon? I mean,
Fauci was like he had attorneys. This is in part of that deal. He had attorneys reaching out to Biden's camp the last day when he got the pardon.
Jeez.
The very last day.
Jeez. It's just a preemptive pardon is nuts, especially when Rand Paul's questioning him and he's talking to him about specifically about what defines gain of function research. And by all account, by every definition, it's gain of function research. And Fauci's still saying, you do not know what you are talking about, with all due respect.
Even though he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Rand Paul's a fucking doctor.
He's an actual doctor.
And then they say, well, you're an eye doctor. Well, that's my specialty. But before I became an eye doctor, I became a general doctor, which means I studied all the same shit that Fauci studied. Yeah. You had to go through medical school before you go pick a specialty. So 4 years of studying the entire body before you specialize in whatever you're going to specialize in.
Well, it's also, then if you read RFK Jr.'s book, The Real Anthony Fauci, you find out he ran this exact same playbook during the AIDS pandemic. It was the exact same playbook. That's what the Dallas Buyers Club is about. The Dallas Buyers Club, that McConaughey movie about AIDS, the fucking villain is Anthony Fauci. He's the guy that's stopping them from getting alternative medications. That's the guy that wanted everybody to take AZT. You know why? Because AZT had already been approved. They had already used it as a cancer medication. It was a chemotherapy medication that they stopped using because it was too deadly. It was killing people quicker than cancer was killing them. So the first medication they gave people when they had an immune system that was compromised was a chemotherapy medication that was killing people. And they were giving it to people that were asymptomatic. They were giving it to people that tested HIV positive. And then you know about the PCR testing. So the PCR test, Kerry Mullis, the guy who invented PCR testing, said publicly about Fauci, he does not know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't think he said fuck, but he does not know what he's talking about. And that it's not supposed to be used to detect a disease in a person's body. And that if you ramp up the cycles long enough, just like they did with COVID, where we got by some estimations, 80% false positives because of the PCR method, because they were ramping them up so high. And so they cut it back quite significantly, and that reduced the amount of false positives they had. But there's a lot of people that got tested as HIV positive that probably weren't. And they put those fucking people on AZT. And AZT kills you.
Wow.
Yeah, nuts. Most mainstream outlets are treating it as a serious but unproven political bombshell. They're reporting that Gabbard alleges, stressing the documents are disputed and under review and highlighting how polarized the reaction is. Mainstream print, Jerusalem Post, Money Control, Newsweek summarize her accusations, emphasize that COVID's origins remain unresolved, and note that the claims about Fauci sparking COVID or lying under oath are heavily contested, not yet legally validated. Many stories frame this as reigniting a long-running fight over lab leak versus natural origin. Listen, that fight is over, kids. That fight's over. If you are in the news and you are saying that there's still a long-running controversy as to whether it's a lab leak or natural origin, shut your fucking dirty whore mouth, because it's not. The fight's over. It's a fucking lab leak. They say the new documents will need independent scrutiny from Congress, investigators, and scientists before any firm conclusions can be drawn. Okay. Right-leaning media highlight her file dump as vindication for critics, focus on the cover-up narrative, and give prominent space to Republicans like Rand Paul. Why does it... More centrist or mainstream outlets present it as a straighter news tone, often pairing Gabbard's and GOP's quotes with Fauci's past denials, and nothing there is so far, no judicial finding of perjury or criminal conduct.
What I've never understood is how this became a left or right issue.
So stupid.
When Fauci, who's a career bureaucrat,
Right.
Through, I mean, when all this started, there was a Republican president.
Yep.
Right? And then he served that Republican president. He served the Democratic president before that, and then he served a Republican. I mean, he's been there for fucking 50 years.
Yeah. It's been there
This
forever.
dude. It's not political.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be political. There shouldn't be a right-left side to this. It's, hey, a career bureaucrat fucking lied to us.
He used the exact same language when he was talking about AZT as a medication for HIV that he used for the COVID vaccine. The reason why it's the only medication is because it is both safe and effective. The guy's a monster.
Yeah.
So like he's one of those guys like throughout history where you're going to look back over time and you go, holy shit, this one guy's lies, this one guy's aspirations, this one guy's career fucked so many people over.
Yeah. And
Spooky.
I don't understand why Democrats would want to fall on that sword with. There's no reason to align.
Because people are stupid and they just decide that because a Republican's a president and anything the Republicans are pushing has to be bad. And that stupid fucking division, it's so silly. It's so silly. It really is. Because the same people during Trump's presidency were openly saying, are you going to trust a vaccine that's created under Trump? They were all saying it.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris said it. A bunch of Joy Reid said it. They all said it.
And then they bet their entire political livelihoods on it.
We deserve better. We really do, or we don't. Maybe we don't. We fucking think they're good. We're so silly. Such a fucking silly group of human beings we are.
That's fucking wild, man.
Not all of us, though. You know, I think less of us now. I think it's going to be way harder to divide people the way they divided everybody in 2020. It'll be way harder now. I think most people are just not buying it. And as long as people wake up to this left versus right nonsense, it's really just a big fucking hustle to keep you fighting with each other.
Oh,
That's
for
most
sure.
of it.
Oh, for sure.
Most of it. Even the ICE stuff that we were talking about. Hey, folks, do you think it's a coincidence that the biggest fucking ICE protests were all going on in the same place where they found all that fraud? Does it ever occur to you that these organized, massive protests were all occurring in the same place where that Nick Shirley cat found fucking billions of dollars in fraud?
Yeah.
Shocker. Kind of crazy.
Didn't California pass a law?
A Nick Shirley law.
To prevent that
Yes.
specifically that guy from fucking poking around in California?
Yes. I mean, they've even referred to it as the Nick Shirley law. The idea is to keep people from investigating fraud, which is outlandish. That is outrageous. That is a crazy thing to emphasize. And the thing is, well, these people are showing up at daycares and looking in. Right, they shouldn't. You're right, 100%. And random people from the internet should not be showing up at daycares with cameras. I agree. However, when there's no one in that daycare for years and years and years, and they can prove that fucking millions of dollars are being earned by that daycare, and there's no one in there, it gets a little weird.
Isn't
It's not fully passed into law. Not yet.
Isn't there a video of that kid like walking up to one of these and these dudes get out and like drive off in their fucking Bentleys?
I don't know if those are real. There's a bunch of fake videos that were made by people afterwards that were just capitalizing on people wanting to click on something like that. And so they were just engagement farming by pretending. Like the guy would show up and they'd go, what?
Right.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what it was. Bad acting. And they get in a Rolls Royce. Like,
It's just bullshit.
it seemed like bullshit to me. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of those guys made a bunch of money. And I'm sure there is a lot of fraud. It just like they're admitting it. Minnesota's admitting it. They knew it was going on forever. You know, and then how about the fact that there's certain politicians that voted against this idea? So one of those ladies that was killed, like there was a lady and her husband that were murdered in Minnesota. And she was one of the few people that voted against providing Medicare for illegals. They were trying to pass some bill involving Medicare and illegals, and she was one of the ones that voted against it. And she was killed. The guy who killed her said that Tim Waltz sent him to kill them. Now, I don't know if he's full of shit. He easily could be. He's a fucking crazy person. He's a murderer. He showed up at their house with a
Right.
mask on and fucking shot them dead and shot a couple other people too. It's like he's, obviously he's fucking cracked out, but kind of weird. Kind of weird that the lady who wants to vote against this obvious fraud, this money that's being somehow or another funneled around through Medicare. Like, one of the things that Elon said when he was on the podcast is that Medicaid and Medicare fraud is one of the biggest fucking problems. And he was looking into it, Doge. He goes, I almost don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get killed. He goes, it's that bad. And this was before all this Nick Shirley shit. And now you're seeing it and you're like, oh, now I get it. These hospices that they have, these fake hospices in California, and then all the Somali daycare centers and all the different things. They're like, these people are just autism. The autism diagnoses went through the fucking roof because now they can have these autism centers. So they just diagnose their kids as autistic, and then they're raking in all this money for treatment. It's crazy how much fraud there is.
Hundreds of billions.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. And just what a shocker that that's the place where the big ICE protest broke out. Oh.
People forget that when Obama was president, he made a big public statement about going after government fraud. They were aware of it then. I mean, they've been aware of it for it's always taken place. But on the scale, and he tried, and he caught resistance to the point that he wasn't able to do his version of a Doge.
Right.
Which was his intention. He gave a big public speech about it and tried to look into it. And if you're stealing hundreds of billions of dollars, what wouldn't you do to protect that?
Exactly. And that was Elon's point.
Yeah.
And also that money for sure makes its way into Democratic coffers. And probably Republican too. And whoever the fuck is going to be
Whoever's enabling the fraud.
Who's ever gonna help out? Whoever wants a piece of this pie is a juicy ass pie. It's $100 billion pie. Come get something.
That'll almost build you a rail system in California. You can get a mile of track.
Or a second Cougar
from that
Bridge.
Fucking car salesman. Have you had that guy on?
No, he wants to be on.
God, I'm sure.
He talks a lot of shit about me. At first, he was saying,
sure.
Joe Rogan's not a fan of me, but I'm a big fan of him. He was like saying all this.
Doesn't he have his own podcast?
Yeah.
Because that city,
Yeah.
that state is running so well. The
Well, he's
governor doesn't need
got
to
a lot of free
govern.
time. It's so smooth. If you ask him, he'll tell you. He'll tell you how awesome this
Oh, he'll give you
state
stats.
is. The stats are
Statistically,
incredible.
people are moving there in record numbers.
Yeah,
No
that's not
one's-
true. It's not true. It's all the stats, the positive stats, they were already going on before he was the governor. It's California's an awesome place. The fucking weather's perfect. San Francisco has always been an incredible tech hub of geniuses. There's always been a bunch of super wizards up there that are creating some of the best technology in the world, and that has nothing to do with him. Has zero to do with him and all these problems that their inept government has caused. Because that's the real problem with him as a governor. It's a real problem with Karen Bass as a mayor. It's a real problem with whatever the fuck happened to San Francisco. It's bad government. It's not upholding the rule of the law, not keeping people safe, being empathetic to people that are shooting up on the street over people that are trying to walk their fucking kids to school.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing is bad for society. It's bad.
And it seems to me that for the most part, if you are the mayor of a city, and when I was writing Yellowstone, the governor of Montana at the time, who was a Democrat, I called him and asked him, I said, hey guys, talk to you about what it's like to be a governor. Like, what did you think it would be, and what did it turn out to be? And what he said was, Steve Bullock is his name. He said, well, I thought I was going to, make all these changes and do this and shepherd this. And I learned that I am the CEO of a state, and that my job as the CEO of the state is take care of the people who live in the state, the employees of the state, attract business here, attract tourism here, and try to make the state make more money and make lives better. That's my job. Infrastructure and city management and people management and tourism. That's my job. And even more acutely to a mayor, you're really the president of a city. You're the CEO of the city. And your job is keep the lights on, pick up the trash, put out the fires, deal with the sewage, keep it safe. Like, that's it. There's no social anything. secondarily, possibly, but run the schools, like run the city. And you have in a lot of these big urban areas where they're so agenda driven and they're pushing a social agenda and they're not running the cities. They're not running them at all. And so they're running into the ground. And it's tragic to see because San Francisco, like you said, it's a beautiful city. L.A. used to be a place where you could go and make your dreams come true.
San
Right?
Francisco was awesome 10 years ago. Just 10 years ago. I filmed my special, Triggered, in the Fillmore in San Francisco in 2016. It was great. No problems. It wasn't homeless people everywhere. It was normal. It was normal San Francisco. Go to a cool restaurant. People are cool. Always been like a smart city. Interesting architecture. Always been a great city. I lived there from the time I was 7 to 11.
Really?
Yeah, I loved San Francisco. It's unrecognizable now. 10 years. That's it. 10 years of fucking asinine government. And also, this homeless thing, when you realize that it's an industry, the homelessness is valuable. Having homeless people on the streets is valuable because you can get more money to deal with this obvious homeless problem. The more obvious the problem is, the more money they're going to throw on it. They don't have to fix it.
Well, there's no intention to fix it.
Right.
They're
No
giving
incentive.
they're giving out free needles. Here,
Yeah.
get high here. And I was just somewhere where my first experience seeing the homeless in this magnitude. And the one thing that's evident instantly is they're all so completely strung out on drugs. Like this fentanyl thing is no fucking joke. Like the zombies leaning against every corner. And to me, it's cruel. Right?
Yeah.
Like if someone's to that point and you want to help them, don't give them a fucking iPhone and some more needles. How about you pick them up off the street and you take them somewhere and go, look, there's a curfew here and you ain't doing no drugs.
Right.
We're going to clean you out. And some aren't going to want that. They're going to want to go back on the street and do drugs. And the addiction and the consequences of drugs that are that. I had surgery. They had put me on fentanyl. I had neck surgery and they put me on fentanyl. There's high, then there's that shit. And that was done by an anesthesiologist. I wasn't self-medicating on a fucking parking lot, right?
What'd you get done to your neck?
C6, C7. I blew
Fusion?
Out No. I had the
Discectomy?
The disc, yeah.
Just cut some of it down?
Yeah.
It's okay now?
Yeah.
How long ago did you get that done?
Was that maybe 3 years ago?
I wish I
2 years.
talked to you.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
If that ever happens again, don't do that.
Don't?
No.
Well, it'll happen again.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. There's other ways. There's there's PRP can help it. Regeniquine helped mine. I had a pretty bad bulging disc in my neck.
What's Regeniquine?
Regeniquine is they used to have to go to Germany to do it. I know Peyton Manning went there, Kobe Bryant went there, and Dana White actually flew to Germany to get it done. It's like an advanced form of platelet-rich plasma where they take your blood. There's a process to it. Pull it up, Jamie, because I can't remember what the process is, but they spin it in a centrifuge for like 10 hours, and then you come back the next day, and they inject it, and it makes this very potent anti-inflammatory, and they inject it around wherever the injury is to the disc. And it provides, like, within weeks, amazing relief. And for me, it completely cured it. I had a point where my fingers were going numb.
Yeah, that's what.
German, go back up. Back to where, yeah. So German physician, Dr. Peter Welling, the treatment focused on blocking a specific inflammatory protein, interleukin-1. So they take the blood out, they draw your blood, and then the blood is heated to body temperature to trigger the production of a natural anti-inflammatory protein called IL-1RA. And then they spin it in a centrifuge, separating out the protein-rich serum. The serum is then injected directly into the painful joint or tissue. Dude, it was remarkable for me for knee injuries. I did it a bunch of times. I used to do it at they moved it. You used to have to go to Germany and then Santa Monica. They opened up an office. It's lifestyle medicine. That's what it's called, right? And then that's where I had it done. And it's incredible. Like I had it done my entire back. Like there's a picture of me on Instagram with a bunch of these fucking tubes in my. That's me right there.
Oh shit.
A bunch of those tubes in my hairy ass back. And it was incredible. I mean, it really fixed so many problems that I had. It's really great for specifically for back injuries, knee injuries, stuff like that.
Wow.
There's a lot of good biological options. There's also decompression is very important. I have a harness that I attach to a pull-up bar, and it straps under my chin, and I just like let my weight drop down and decompress my weight on my neck. I do that every day. And then I also have this thing called a Dex 3. Is it Dex 2 or Dex 3? You hang forward. It's like Teeter makes it. You know that company that makes those decompression tables? But this one's even better because you just hinge from the hip. So you're not supporting it at all with your legs. And it's just your back. It just goes like pop, pop, pop. Like you could feel
I
it.
need one of those.
I'll show it to you. We have one out here. We have 2 of them out here actually.
Really?
Right out, yeah, in the gym. They're the shit. I have one at home. I will not have one. I have to have one. It's so good for just decompressing your back. But you need to decompress the neck too. Anytime you're doing anything, if you're deadlifting or squat, obviously you're lifting a lot of heavy weights. If anytime you're lifting weight, you got to think of all that pressure's on your back, all that squashing down, and you got to do something to stretch it out, stretch it back out. But there's ways to heal it now without taking away the disc. So the problem is every time they cut away a piece of your disc,
You got less disc.
you got less disc. Yeah. So the good news is there's some treatments that they're doing now where they're actually injecting some sort of a hydrogel.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, into the disc itself. So I asked Brigham from Ways to Well about that, and they're looking into it, and they're trying to. Apparently, this is not being done widely yet. This is just experimental, but they think they're going to be able to do that. There's also some places like CPI, Cellular Performance Institute down in Tijuana. They've successfully been injecting stem cells into people's discs, and it causes the disc to regenerate tissue and get thicker and healthier.
Really?
Yeah. Shane Dorian, my friend, he's a pro surfer and big wave surfer and bow hunter. He went down there and he said it was remarkable. He said within a couple of months, like a 30 to 40% increase in range of motion,
Really?
Decrease in pain. Yeah, you could feel it. It's kind of an annoying process because once you do it, you can't really do shit for like 6 weeks. Like once I think it's 6 weeks.
Well, that's what's the same with the surgery. You're not
Yeah.
doing shit for 6 weeks after that.
But you can't lift weights. You could walk. You know, it's the whole thing's like let everything take. Like let it take. Let it heal up. Don't do anything stupid. Don't re-injure it. Don't aggravate it. Like give it a chance to actually do its magic.
Yeah, I'll look into that for sure.
But any neck injury or back injury, they're such a motherfucker. Anytime your back goes out, you're like, everything you do is like, It's so hard to do anything. It's like you realize like how nice it is to be healthy when, whenever you get hurt.
Yeah. No, back pain. That's what killed my stepfather.
Back pain?
Yeah.
Did he just get on pills?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend in the family that did that.
Yeah, he was in. I remember one time we were fishing up in Wyoming, and he was like, I can't do it. Back hurts too bad.
Jeez.
And he went in and had a surgery, and that made it worse, which is which
People
is a real risk when you start messing around with the spine, right? And so and then it was, those are serious pain. Now we're talking oxy.
Yeah, now you're in just agony.
Now you're on a clock.
Long. Yeah, and you can only do that shit for so long.
Yeah, now you're on a clock.
Oxys are fucking terrifying. They're so terrifying.
Yeah.
So terrifying how readily they were handing them out too forever.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Painkiller, the Peter Berg thing that he did for Netflix?
No, I didn't.
Fucking great, man. So Matthew Broderick plays such a great creep. Oh, he played the Sackler brother, the Sackler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the head of the family that started this whole opiate problem that we have in this country. It's fucking terrifying because it's all real. And those fucking people never even went to jail. Who knows how many people are dead because of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
They generated fucking billions and billions of dollars, killed a bunch of people, ruined countless lives. How many lives, people that were connected, your dad gets hooked on that shit, it ruins your relationship with your family. You wind up being all fucked up because you grew up with a dad who was strung out on pills.
Yep. No, generation.
Yeah.
Generational damage.
Oh, God, yeah.
And these guys put their feet up.
Yeah. They go to a fucking nice country club and have the lobster.
Yeah.
Cocksuckers. There's so many of them in this world. There's that's genuinely evil.
Yes.
There's real demons. That's a real demon. Like people want to think demons live in hell, and that's kind of may or may not be real. Well, no, they're on Earth.
Yeah.
There's demons.
They're right here.
Yeah, and they justify it. They figure out a way to justify it. And they're around a bunch of other people who justify it too, and they can just immediately dismiss any pain or suffering because they got a huge amount of profit from it. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep. Those are the fuckers.
Those are the fuckers. Yeah, they're out there.
And it doesn't take many of them to create like real carnage. I mean, think about that. Think about the opiate issue in this, and it's still going. It was the gateway to fentanyl, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it.
Yeah, it was the gateway to fentanyl, and it was also, it's like they were doing those pain management centers down in Florida, where they just, all they prescribed was pills. So you would go and like, I'm in pain. They were like, oh, Taylor, we've got the solution. It's right next door. And you go right next door to their pharmacy, and all their pharmacy has, like, they don't have Bengay over there. They don't have toothbrushes.
Oxy.
Yeah, they got Oxy.
Here you go, buddy.
This is the solution.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Yep. That's the real drug trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, the cartel is basically getting the scraps. They're making trillions of dollars off scraps.
Well, think about this. Did you even know what fentanyl was 15 years ago? I never heard of it.
No. I don't even remember when we first heard about it, but when we first heard about it on a podcast, we were talking about it, and we found the amount that's lethal. And they showed it next to a penny. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That can kill you? And people are taking that? And they're mixing that in cocaine? Holy fuck.
And they are bent over zombies on the side of the road.
Yeah. Philadelphia's bad too. There's a bunch of cities that are just real bad with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that way. And what's interesting is this Ibogaine initiative that Rick Perry and Brian Hubbard are pushing in Texas, and that I went to the White House to get Trump to be involved in. And they're trying to make this so that it's you have a right to use, or right, I think they call it right to use or right to try for people that are addicted, and they're trying to make it more readily available and accessible to veterans. That's the thing that could help all these people.
What is it now?
Ibogaine? Do you don't know what that is?
No.
Ibogaine is it comes from the iboga tree in Africa. And it is this very potent psychedelic that has no recreational use at all. It's not fun. Nobody likes it. It's not like you trip, you see zombies and fucking hang out with the aliens. You go into this very dark experience for like 24 hours where it like replays your life to you in a very uncomfortable way, and also somehow or another rewires addiction in your brain. And for a large percentage of people, just one dose is good enough to get them off of everything, whatever they're on, whether it's alcohol, gambling, coke, whatever the fuck it is. But for 2 doses, when they do it twice, it's significantly better. And it doesn't just do that. Rick Perry, who was the Republican former governor of Texas, was staunchly anti-drugs. He's said this is his main focus in life now, is to promote this. This is his goal in life, because he did it, and he had an incredible reaction to it, and he knows so many veterans who have done it. It's incredible for PTSD. Somehow or another, it has neuroregenerative properties, where he went there and they said, he went to his doctor before, and doctor did a whole scan of his body, and he said, look, you've got a certain amount of age-related brain atrophy. It's like, it's fine, but it's normal that you're 73 years old or 74 years old. So he goes and does the Ibogaine, sees his doctor a short time afterwards, and the doctor says, it's 25% less atrophy than when you got the last scan. And he explains to him the whole Ibogaine thing. He goes back 6 months later, it's all gone. He has no brain atrophy anymore, which is bananas. So it's regenerating brain tissue. It's making his brain work better. And it's just...
Well, the pharmaceutical companies aren't going to let that shit out.
Well, they didn't like it. They didn't like that I bypassed them and went straight to Trump and told them about that. But Trump was very open to it. He said, what are you looking for? Are you looking for FDA approval? Like, let's do it. Like, that's literally what he said. And then a week later, we were at the White House, and he was signing it. So It's incredible. But if so many veterans have had to go over to mostly Mexico, but Costa Rica, there's a bunch of different places that they go where they can have these Ibogaine retreats. And these guys have had incredible results. Marcus Luttrell, he had an incredible result from it. He had a real problem drinking. Obviously he's the guy, Lone Survivor, the movie's based on his experiences over in Afghanistan. So this guy, he's done it. He's gotten over it because of that. Like there's a long Sean Ryan, long list of guys who have had this experience and it completely changed them.
Wow.
Dakota Meyer did it. So many of these guys did it. And because of their stories, because all these veterans, then it like kind of opened up the idea to a lot more right-wing people that would maybe be like more hesitant to accept something like this. And then on top of it, no recreational use. Like no one's like, boy, I can't wait to do that again. Everybody's like, holy shit, this sucked. I had diarrhea. I threw up. I was horrified for fucking 12 hours. It apparently just takes you through every aspect of your life, like review like a movie. All the times you've ever hurt people, you see it from their perspective. It's a very dark experience for a lot of people, especially a lot of people that have fucked up a lot of their life,
Wow.
Yeah. But if those people had access to Ibogaine, all these homeless people that you
Right.
see strung out, if instead of just giving them needles and an iPhone and like profiting off of it, if somehow or another these assholes can figure out a way to profit off of these centers where you could bring people in and give them Ibogaine retreats, maybe that would be a nice little fucking exit strategy for all
Right.
these grifters that have been profiting off of the homeless industrial complex for so long.
Yeah. Well, they're not trying to solve problems.
No, they're trying to make money. That's what I was saying earlier when we
Yeah.
were talking about charities. That's the saddest thing that I've come to the realization that most nonprofits are fucking scams. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them. And this guy was like reading off like the average amount that these people that are in charge of the homeless program in LA are making. It's extraordinary amount of money.
Yeah.
It's a great living. They're not doing it because it's like some sort of a very charitable thing that they really want to save the world and help people. No, they're making tons of money.
They're performative entrepreneurs. If you think about it, come up with a problem, then go pitch some version of Karen solution to a government,
Yeah.
and take the fucking money, and never solve the problem. Because as soon as you solve the problem, and if you do somehow accidentally solve it, then go find another one.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why shows like Yellowstone in particular, that show like people that are proud to work hard and really get like deep satisfaction out of that life. And there's something about that it really like it resonates with people. Like there's a better way than just bullshitting people. There's a better way than fraud and nonsense and all this political horseshit that's pumped down your throat every day. No. How about a fucking just a sleeping bag and the stars? How about that? Just lying there with your horse tied to a tree. Isn't that really what everybody wants? Doesn't really everyone want to cook their dinner over a fire and laugh with all their friends? Because that's what they really want. That
Just
really sounds
something
good.
simple.
Something real, something that's like it's not that simple because it's hard to do all that shit, but there's something about it that's pure. It's pure. There's
Well,
no ifs,
you
ands, or buts.
You spend a lot of time outside, right? And the entire thing's an endeavor, right? If you go bow hunting, you're gonna practice, prepare before you go. Then you're gonna hike your ass in somewhere. You're gonna have to set up a camp, and all of these are tasks before you've even gone to do the thing you went there to do, which is going to be another task. But the completion of them is the reward.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're doing it yourself. Everything done yourself. I think that's why people are so attracted to the life. That's why I've got, third generation cowboys that went and got a degree in ranch management to come back and make, $3,000 a month and couldn't be happier.
It's wild, isn't it? It's really wild when you think about it. It's wild what people actually gravitate towards. Because they say that, have you ever seen that Werner Herzog documentary, Happy People?
No.
It's called Happy People, Life in the Taiga. And it's all about these trappers that live on the Taiga River in Siberia. And all these people do is trap and hunt and fish. They don't have any other way to make a living. That's all they do. And they're so fucking happy. And they're all laughing together and drinking together and hanging out with their dogs, and their dogs are sled dogs, and so they're on snowmobiles, and the dogs are chasing behind them, and the dogs hunt with them, and these fucking people have like zero mental illness. And when they're talking to them, they're talking in Russian, so it's all translated. But what they're talking about, like the way they talk, it's like that this is how you're supposed to live. This is real life. And they're all happy.
There's a guy, I'm going to get his name wrong. It's like Preminger, something like that. And he, in the 60s.
Dick Premikin.
Premikin, that's it.
Yeah. The guy who lived in Alaska.
Yeah. Just went up, said bucket.
Yeah.
Went up way into the wild and built by hand a cabin and lived there and documented it. Brought a little Super 8 camera or whatever, filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And filmed himself. I mean, he lived for 35 years. He was 80-something years old when he finally was too old to get through another winter when he came down. And he just built this cabin and just lived, hunted, fished, grew potatoes, had to
There
build.
he is.
Yeah.
Pronicky. That's how you say his name. Proe.
If you haven't watched that documentary, it is fascinating.
It's amazing. Yeah. Look at the different. What is it? Oh, they.
How much you
Oh, it's just
didn't-
they've.
Just talking about it.
Oh, but why they show this 2023? This guy, when he documented all of it, it's so attractive. There's something about the way he's living, and he's by himself, which is also wild. Like, how do you not get lonely?
No, there's that.
I mean, I'd lose my fucking marbles. I need people.
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody. I don't think I'd be liking that. But,
No.
But it's so attractive.
But the notion of that kind of self-reliance.
Yeah. No, there's something about it that's like deeply ingrained in our DNA. It's not just that. It's like it's a healthy interaction with the wild world.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Look at that guy. Made all that shit himself. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I mean, he made his own tools. He made it's really wild. I think he wasn't he a lumberman or something like that?
I can't remember if he was.
Look at fucking pretty that is. My God. This is right in front of his house. He just built a house out there. Alaska's amazing, man. I mean, the winters can suck a dick, but the actual being there in the place, and the people they're clearly like extraordinary people. Like when you go, just even hanging out in a bar in Anchorage, like you guys are different. They're like more reliable.
No matter
They're
where,
sturdier people.
no matter where you live in Alaska, you're going to have to be tough.
Yeah, you have to be. And they were laughing about some guy who got stomped to death by a moose because he was throwing snowballs at it in town. Like, okay, like that's something you guys have to think about. You might get stomped to death in front of the ATM machine.
Or maybe don't throw a fucking snowball at a 1,000-pound animal.
Yeah, well, you can catch a cow with her calves and she'll stomp you no matter what. So it's a book. Prenicky says he turned his back on tedious 50-hour work weeks and moved to Alaska to do a thing to completion. He built the cabin when he was 51 and lived there for more than 30 years. Wow. Where is that area? The Twin Lakes and Lake Clark National Park?
I don't know.
There's another guy that lives up there, that lives near the Arctic Circle. Vice Guide to Travel did a piece on him years ago. It's the same kind of deal. He lives in a cabin, and he's been up in that cabin since the 1970s. He never saw 9/11. He saw a photograph of it years later. He's just been up there in the woods. All he does is he hunts caribou, and he has them all like hanging up, like frozen, because it's frozen outside. Like that's his outside is his cooler. And while they're there, a grizzly tries to steal his stash, and he has to shoot the grizzly. It's crazy.
Really? What's that called?
It's called Vice Guide to Travel, and it's Hindmo's Arctic Adventure is the video series. And what's interesting, this is like the early days of Vice, when Vice was really cool. And they get this fucking nerd with glasses, probably from like Williamsburg, who flies out to Alaska to hang out with this guy. And these journalists were like hardcore. These young kids they knew they were doing something kind of crazy. And they would go to war zones. Like that's how Tim Pool started out.
Really?
These guys would go to the fucking war zones and get shot at. They had bulletproof vests on and shit. And they'd be doing real investigative reporting. And so this guy just really went up there and hung out with this dude in Alaska for like a week and was talking to him. It's like, what's so great about this? And he's a very intelligent guy. He's not the guy who's this guy Hindmo. See if you can find that. Did you find it?
I was They're still posting stuff. There's the Last Alaskan, excuse me, Last Alaskans.
Oh, he's still posting
Yeah,
stuff?
they have a YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
Jaimo and Edna.
Oh, wow. He looks older now.
Hey, they're just talking about podcast here a second ago.
Oh, interesting. They're talking about podcasts?
Our podcast.
Oh,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we talked
I
about
don't
them?
know. I mean, I just saw as you were your picture popped up.
Oh,
right
that's
there.
it. That's me talking about him. Yeah. See if you could find the Vice Guide to Travel, because that's where I found out about him. So this he's like one of the last people that's allowed to live up there. He has like a notice posted on his cabin because he's grandfathered in. I don't think you can build a cabin up there anymore. Yeah. This is afterwards.
15 years ago.
Might be it. But I think it's called Jaimo's Arctic Adventure. Yeah, Jaimo's Arctic Refuge. That's the article.
Yeah, I mean, the Vice website isn't really one of the most well-kept things on the internet these days.
Put in Arctic Adventure.
I'm guessing that the article was the first thing, and then they went and followed up to make a video, and that's what this is.
Yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, see, it says it presents Jaimo's Arctic Refuge.
Right. That's probably it.
They could have just changed the name on YouTube also.
I think they did. Or maybe I remember it wrong. Either way, this guy's premise is that this is really how you should live. This is how people... Yeah, that's the guy. So you see this looking nerdy cat is hanging out. He looks so out of place. Yep, this is it. And he's got this caribou that he shot, and they're hanging frozen, and he just saws off a piece and throws the frozen steaks onto the grill, cooks it over wood, and this is how this guy lives, and that's all he eats. He's just eating caribou and salmon, and he lives up there all year round, man. And it's, he's just very happy. And this is the weird part about it, is how happy people who live like this are. Because I think that's in our brain. That's how we're designed to exist with nature.
Yeah.
We're designed to be hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
We still have the same DNA as people that lived tens of thousands of years ago.
And, cities started, maybe 10,000 years ago in some form, right?
Yeah, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
I think we're a little wrong with that, too. I think they're starting to change their perspective of when actual civilization emerged because of stuff like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. They found these immense structures that are 11,800 years old that were buried, that this guy who was I think it was a sheep herder in the 90s found it.
Really?
He found like a stone that was like sticking out of the ground weird, and he kicked it with his boots, like knocking some dirt off, and then he brought in some archaeologists, and then they discovered this massive complex, these like huge circles of giant stone columns with 3D animals carved in them, and they carbon dated the ground, and it was intentionally covered up somewhere around 11,000 plus years ago. So they're like,
really?
What the fuck is this? Like, they didn't even know, like, what the civilization was. Like, why did they build this? What's the purpose of it? There's a lot of people that debate whether or not what's depicted on it is a calendar. Is it a marking of an event? Does it show the flood? Like, what is this? It's
Really?
weird stuff, man. Like, really weird stuff. And I think there's more of that than you'd like to, that makes people comfortable. And archaeologists are very hesitant to accept it. But
Well, that whole deal, right? Like your relevance being upon you discovered this thing. And,
Yeah.
when they found the Clovis Point, so then we're dating everything off of that, and anyone finding anything else is going to render that guy's discovery less important.
Yeah.
And there was at one point we thought there was this logical evolution of man from Homo erectus into Homo sapien, and now we know that there were at least 4, maybe 5 species of humanoid living at the same time. It's just fucking at least 5.
Not only that, it's like really difficult to make a fossil. Most people are going to die and their bones are going to be gone
Yeah.
within 100 years.
Yeah, it's just what we've been able to find, and we're basing an entire science upon incredibly incomplete discoveries.
We're basing entire science on a very limited number that can even possibly exist. Like, I think if you take into account how many dinosaur bones they've found, and then how many dinosaurs existed, and for how many hundreds of millions of years dinosaurs existed, and you realize, like, oh, like most shit doesn't make a fossil. So we don't even know how many different dinosaurs that they just discovered a new one recently. We don't even know how many existed that we never found fossilized.
Yeah, if they didn't run through some lava pit or tar pit or something, how would you know?
And every so often, some new form of ancient human pops up, and we're like, oh, well, what's this one? What the fuck is this one? There's weird ones. They're all over the place. There's a fucking ton of them. The Denisovans. There's the one in I believe it was in China. The big-headed people. They're quite a bit larger.
Yeah, these are in Texas.
Yeah, that's Glen Rose.
Dinosaur Valley State Park. Wow,
That's Glen Rose, Texas.
that's crazy. How crazy is that? Look at those footprints. That's so nuts. That is so nuts. That a dinosaur left those. How long ago? 113 million year old dinosaur tracks. What the fuck, man? And we're just lucky.
So what is that thing, and how much did it fucking weigh to imprint into that, which is now granite, right? But at the time, it's probably some mixture of mud and ash from a volcano that came together.
Right, probably.
Some version of that.
Right, I wonder what the animal was. Do they know which dinosaur it was?
Picture of one here. I don't know if it's the one. I'll just guess that's the one they assumed was there.
God, those
Got a
footprints are
T-Rex?
so dope. That's so wild. Wonder who the first guy who found that was.
It says it was discovered after a drought, so it would have been under.
Oh, that's even cooler.
Mhm.
So it was underneath the water the whole time, and then they're like, "Holy!" The river dried up completely in most locations, allowing for more tracks to be uncovered here in the park. Wow, that's sick. That's the animal.
Believed to be. I don't know. Yeah, they wouldn't know for sure.
Belonged to two types of dinos, including Acrocanthosaurus.
Yeah, I don't think they found any fossils or anything to be. For the record.
That's even
Just the
crazier,
footprints.
right?
Yeah.
All you find is the feet. Think about how many died there. Think about how many just got eaten by other animals and shit out. And I mean, most stuff that lives, as well as anybody, you very rarely find skeletons in the woods.
No, the mice are going to eat them.
Yeah, something's going to eat
Yeah.
most of what you find in the woods. Within a couple of years, everything's gone. But, like, when was the last time, like, if you're a hunter, good luck finding a dead mountain lion. They must die. They must die. I don't know anybody that's found a dead
Yeah.
one.
I've never found one. I've never seen one.
There's thousands of them. They die.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah.
Fucking nature takes care of everything. And
Yeah.
that's what would happen to most fossils.
Yeah.
That's why most fossils don't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, when people die, they don't get
Picture
fossilized.
says 1908. A local schoolboy found some of these.
Wow. Look at the size of those next to that dude. That's crazy.
Imagine you ran home and tried to tell your parents I found some dinosaur. They wouldn't even know what dinosaurs really were. I bet back then. How would they have known?
Well, there's a lot of people today that don't even think dinosaurs are real, which is hilarious. There's so many knuckleheads online. But I mean, we have a very limited amount of information that we're basing the entire history of Earth on planet.
What do you describe that as in 1910? A three-toed
Right.
giant lizard? I don't even know what you
I
would
know.
say.
How would you
to
even be
describe
sure
it.
that that was a footprint?
Come look at this, and then you got to go tell everybody else in the town to come follow you out there to find it.
Right, in 1910, did they even have drawings of dinosaurs?
Well, I would think they would have found some of the bones.
I'm
right?
sure. I think we figured that
Let's see.
out, right?
Let's
I
see
think
what
we
it
talked
says.
about that. Didn't they first start finding them in the 1800s? Isn't that what it was? But yeah, it's not. I mean, if you think about how many different things died and just were absorbed by the earth, just gets eaten, shit out, swallowed up, just destroyed by time and erosion, and never became fossils. We're basing the entire history of the planet on a limited amount of information, and that information, it never gets younger. It always gets older. The more stuff they found,
Yeah.
like they found a modern version of human beings that pushes the timeline of humans back another 300,000 or 400,000 years, and that keeps happening.
Well, they thought that people crossed the Bering Land Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
12,000, 14,000 years ago, and now they've pushed that back 10,000 years.
Yeah, they found those footprints in White Sands, New Mexico, and those are 22,000 years old.
It took a giant flood to come wash away layers of sediment that then revealed that. That's why it's so muddy around it, I guess.
Wow.
And then they started digging.
That's fucking cool. Wow. That is so cool. And this is in 1952 they did that?
No, 1908.
908?
The pictures are from 1952 or something.
Oh,
like that.
okay.
So they must have just kept, maybe it flooded again 50 years later. Floods do happen here fast.
When did they first figure out dinosaurs? Like, what was the first year a dinosaur bone was discovered? On your ranch, do you find, like, a lot of, like, arrowheads and, like, Native American stuff?
The one I grew up on, everywhere.
Yeah?
Every time it'd rain, you'd find these points.
That shit enthralls me. It's so fascinating. You pick up some arrow. I found one in Nevada while I was on a mule deer hunt. I was in the high desert. We found this little tiny thing. I looked down. I go, oh my God, it's a fucking arrowhead. And you just think, some dude, who knows how many hundreds of years ago, shot that at a deer. Maybe.
Thousands.
Yeah.
We found a bunch, and my mother took them to Fort Worth to the museum, and they dated them. And some of them, and they could look at them, and they'd know various styles, right? And they go, oh, this was made by, this is 2,200 years old. This is 4,000 years old. This is when they started doing this.
We have one here. I got one here somewhere. It's a big one, too.
1677 was when the first scientifically recorded dinosaur bone was described. Although it says people have been digging them up for thousands of years, but
They didn't know what the fuck it was.
this one just says he even thought it belonged to a giant human. And then
This is one from
150
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, a friend of mine got that off of his ranch. Remy Warren told me that's probably one they used for fishing because it was so big.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, that's interesting. Because I guess when you're dealing with old bows that didn't have a whole lot of power, you really wouldn't want a big, wide cut because you wouldn't get enough penetration to get through the rib cage unless you were really close.
So this would be more on a spear?
No, it would be on an arrow. It would just be something that you shot at a fish because it's easier to penetrate than, like, say, a buffalo,
Right.
where they would use a smaller head. They're just trying to get penetration.
That's fascinating.
It's just an amazing thing. You're finding just this piece of ancient history where people had no internet, no books, no nothing, just flint napping and using tendons
Sat
and shit.
around and-
Yeah. And then trying to practice with those bows. Figure out how to do it while you're on horseback, too. It's
That's
crazy.
wild.
So where you grew up, on the ranch you grew up, you'd find them all the time?
All the time.
What was the oldest shit you found?
Man, I can't remember, but I remember it being thousands of years old, a few thousand years old. But we had a, like, my mother had this wicker basket that was like this big, and it was full.
Of arrowheads?
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd find them, just toss them in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just makes you think, like, how long did people live on that land? How many hundreds, thousands of years did people live on that land?
Yeah. Yeah. And or pass through or have battles or who fucking knows.
Yeah.
Or when you find them like we found them, I mean, every single time it rained, there was this stock tank behind our house, and maybe it's half mile up to the stock tank. We'd walk that road, and you could find 4 or 5. So was that a trading depot? Was that some place where people went to trade? And then I always think, like, how do you lose that many?
Right.
As hard as they must be to make.
Right.
You'd think once you've shot that arrow, you're going to go look for the arrow.
Yeah.
Because you spent hours making this
They
tip.
must have shot so many for so long. They're probably shooting them every day. They probably had somebody back at camp making them every day.
There's probably some guy that's his skill.
Yeah.
Maybe when people got older, they couldn't hunt, couldn't run.
Right.
You know,
Maybe.
they sat back and
Right. Yeah, and that guy makes the arrows, and maybe somebody else makes the bows, and this guy's going out and shooting the deer and bringing them back. When you're doing a show like 1823, how much research did you have to do to try to get that right? Because that was, in my opinion, one of the best theatrical things that I ever watched, movie or television show, that I feel like nailed what it must have been like to try to travel across the country, to be a civilized person living in the city, and try to make your way across the country and just experience the wild shit those people saw.
Well, there's a few things. So a lot of research. But interestingly, I had my family had come, one side of my family had come from Kentucky to Texas in the 1840s. And whatever great-great-grandmother journaled.
Wow.
So I had the journal.
Holy shit.
And then I started finding other journals. There wasn't, some were published. And reading about just how fucking dangerous it was. If you think about it, rivers were the most terrifying thing, crossing rivers, because no one swam. No one could swim. And most of the people who came into either the port of New Orleans or Galveston, they were European. They were German, a lot of Germans. There were a lot of Central Europeans that came, and they were promised free land, right? There would be travel agencies that they would arrange the entire trip with before they've even left Germany or Croatia or wherever they were. And so by the time that they landed in Galveston, they would meet up with their group, and the group would, they'd have chipped in all this amount of money, and they've got guides, and they would have already arranged for mules or horses and wagons, and off they go.
And they had no idea.
No, and a lot of them had never fucking ridden a horse in their life, much less fired a gun, much less, they're in a completely foreign area. Like they landed in Texas, most of them heading to Oregon, because that area was the most similar to where they were from in Central Europe. And then, for whatever reason, some didn't get that far. Some maybe never got past Waco or Fort Worth or wherever. And then off they went. And the dangers were from obviously rivers and sun exposure, disease. Obviously there were issues with bandits and the Native American tribes, depending on the time of year, or the era, right? By the 80s, that was largely not an issue, the 1880s. But bandits sure as shit were a real issue because there's no rule of law.
Right.
Right? And we can look at, there's plenty of bad people doing awful shit today, and we got all sorts of laws. Now imagine if those people had the wherewithal to go to a place to where there's no laws.
No law and no enforcement. No help, no nothing.
Yep.
You're on your own.
You were on your fucking own.
And there was a bunch of people that had been living like that for decades, just fucking people up.
Waiting for you.
Just waiting for you. Waiting for you. Here they come. Let's get them.
Yep.
And that was what their thing was.
Yeah. No, so river crossings were incredibly dangerous. And then trying to, if you didn't have an experienced guide, you're fucked. Truly fucked. Because you pick the wrong way and run out of water. Go wander around in the circle. You get up there on the Great Plains to where it's flat and and you don't know how to read the sun. You don't know where you're going. People go out there and make giant circles.
Yeah. I was reading something about that the other day, that people tend to, for whatever reason, always walk in a counterclockwise direction when they get lost. And that even if they're left-footed or right-handed or left-handed, it doesn't seem to matter. Humans, when they walk, if they get lost, like in the woods, they walk in circles, and they almost always walk in a counterclockwise direction. And so this article was explaining that if you find yourself lost and you think you're running into the same places, most likely you should veer towards the right, because you're most likely looping towards the left for whatever reason. People tend to do that. Wonder if there's like a scientific explanation. See if there's, put that in perplexity. See why people move in a counterclockwise.
It didn't come up with anything.
Perplexity doesn't know shit. Doesn't have
Didn't
any
know what I was talking
woodsmanship.
I never understood getting lost in the wilderness. I didn't understand it.
Really?
I can understand not knowing where you are, but I never understood getting lost.
You must have learned how to use a compass early.
Yeah, or the sun,
Yeah.
right? If the sun comes up in the morning and you're facing it,
Right.
then behind you is west, to your left is north, to your right is
Some
south.
people have zero experience in the woods, though.
When
People
True.
tend to loop often counterclockwise when lost because small errors in our internal sense of straight ahead accumulate. And humans also have a subtle left turn counterclockwise bias whose exact cause is still unclear. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
That's so weird. In lab and field experiments, blindfolded people tend to walk straight without landmarks, almost always end up curving into large loops instead of moving in a straight line. People told, rather, to walk straight without landmarks.
Wow.
Wow. This happens because without external clues like the sun, distant objects, or a visible path, small random errors in balance and body feedback build up until the path bends enough to close into a circle. Wow. That's got to be so disheartening. You've been walking for days, and then you pass the same dead tree, and you're like, oh my God, we walked in a fucking circle. Pedestrians everywhere exhibit a counterclockwise bias, wired to walk counterclockwise. During COVID, scientists studying social distancing noticed that people seem to prefer moving counterclockwise. That's so weird. Tendency is fundamentally individual rather than a collective. What does that mean? So every individual does it, I guess, rather than a group of people just
Right.
following the leader. Pretty wild. So when people get lost, some people have just zero experience being in the woods at all, and they just don't know where to go. They're just, where are we? And they just fucking freak out, and then they panic because they think, what's out there? Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And you realize that once you're out there, that nature doesn't give a fuck if you make it
No. Doesn't care.
at all.
No.
As it's heartless, completely oblivious to your desire to stay alive. It's
Yeah.
not interested in what you want to do at all.
Nope. Not at all. It's ambivalent.
But that's also part of the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
When you're out there, especially
Yeah.
if you take yourself seriously,
Yeah.
you're out there, you're like, oh, I ain't shit.
It'll test you.
Yeah. When you're writing a thing like 1823, like you're doing all this research and you read the diaries from you said your great grandmother? Is that what it was?
Like great
grandmother? Did you ever think of like putting some of those letters online so other people can read them?
No. There's plenty of there's any number of published books of very similar journals.
I know, but it'd be kind of dope for people to read about your great grandmother.
Yeah, and nothing happened, right? Like
But still-
it sucked.
still
It was cold.
interesting.
We had freaking whatever weird shit they had for dinner that night, and so and so was rude, and it was this, and we stopped in this beautiful valley, and it was hard to get across the river, and I was scared, and but no attacks, no, it was pretty uneventful.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
It's interesting just as a window into time.
Yes.
Well,
what's interesting really is how well written the journal was, right? Because everyone,
was very educated.
yeah,
Was better educated.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, that's weird, right? When you read like Civil War letters and you're like, why were these guys so fucking smart?
I have letters from my grandfather who died in World War II. Love letters from him to my grandmother. Years of them, because they enlisted in 1941 and then went off and became they flew I guess it was the B-19, flew a bomber, and wrote all these letters to her. And I have all those, and they're just magnificent. Just the way that people would just be so eloquent in a letter to, your wife.
Yeah, my beloved. They would write
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
It is weird, like the deterioration of our ability to express ourselves. The common person's ability to express themselves. Like you wouldn't have expected that back then, I bet. If you could tell people about the future, you go, oh, you're going to have the answer to any question on your phone. You have a small device in your pocket. It also acts as a flashlight. You're going to be able to pick that thing up and ask it anything you want, and instantaneously it's going to give you a result. Like, oh, people must be brilliant. No, they're half retarded.
Because they didn't learn anything.
Right.
right? You can ask a machine. The machine's done all the learning. You
Yeah.
just get an answer that you didn't earn, right?
That's the word. Earn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like equity. Like the problem with equity is you didn't earn it.
Yeah.
You know? The problem with having the same results as everybody else when you don't put the same effort. People in the 1800s often spent blocks of time, typically 1 to 3 hours at a stretch, on letter writing, and heavy correspondence could easily spend several hours most days. Wow. Most people treated correspondence as a regular daily or weekly task, similar to a modern email block, accepting that it would take a significant chunk of their time. Wow. I mean, how important was the fucking mailman back then?
Everything.
The guy was everything.
Everything.
Some dude on a horse with a fucking bag of letters
Nuts.
for a quarter. I mean, how much did they charge? A quarter was a lot of money back then. Probably was less than that.
Yeah, it's probably half a penny or something if they had a. Well, they did have a half penny.
How much do you enjoy writing that kind of a show versus writing a show like Lioness or like Landman? Like, what is your? Do you have a favorite, or do you like all of them?
No, I can't say I have a favorite necessarily. You know, the fun thing about Lioness, which is sort of, I can't say it's ripped from the headlines because I've tried to be. I've tried to guess what's going to happen politically and then fictionalize that. And the fact that I've managed to be right is pretty fucking wild. I thought surely in season 2 when I said that the cartels had been listed as terrorist organizations, I'm like, this could be my 18-month cancel vacation coming. And then it fucking happened. And then it came out, and the show came out within weeks of that, and I looked really
Like a soothsayer.
Yeah. So that it's a lot of fun because it's so political, and it doesn't choose a political side. It just looks at the tradecraft of espionage and how it's intermingles with our military, and it's just fascinating shit to me. Just fascinating.
But there's so many different things that you have to be aware of to write the shit that you write. You know, like, is the Harrison Ford one 1923? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
That one is fascinating too, because you got the guy who goes off to Africa, and and he comes back, and you got all these people that are trying to steal land. So it's not totally lawless, but it's on the border of lawlessness.
Yeah, you're watching. Montana in the 20s was fascinating. It was a fascinating place because you've got the 20th century, the Industrial Revolution in full swing, and you have washing machines and refrigerators and telephones and electricity, and then you're still traveling by horseback. Right?
Yeah.
So it very, very interesting, and so that's a really fun thing to explore. Right?
That one
Those
dude who was
windows.
the evil rich guy on that show.
Oh yeah,
Fuck, he killed it.
Tim
Who was it?
Dalton.
Oh my God, that's right, Tim Dalton, who was Bond at one point in
Yeah.
time, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
My God, does he play a good fucking creep?
It's twisted.
So good.
Yeah.
I forgot that it was Tim Dalton. That's how good it was.
Yeah, my wife watched that and looked at me like, how'd you think that shit up, dude? Like, I got the side eye for it's a couple of scenes where she's like, bro, what are you thinking?
Yeah, there's a couple scenes I wondered myself.
Yeah.
I was like, this is rough.
I was like, that's evil. Like,
Some of the S&M stuff is like, Jesus
pretty
Christ.
twisted.
But there's people like that in the world.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to I'll tell you what, my computer, I just assume that the CIA and FBI have like a whole team because the shit I look up when I'm researching, I'm like, how to make a bomb, S&M practice, CIA hot regions in the Middle East, and it's all at once, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's
I
no
know-
way they're not looking at your phone.
No, they're looking at it going,
Yeah.
Taylor's writing something new. Look at this.
I think anybody that has any influence, they probably look at your shit no matter what anyway, which is also dark. Like, we don't even know how much actual real spying on people is occurring. We're just guessing.
No, we don't have any idea. I think within the world of tradecraft, a tremendous amount.
Oh, yeah.
I think within the world of, within that world, I think.
When you're writing that, how difficult is it to really keep your finger on the pulse of what's actually going on with espionage and like what tools they actually have available? Like, are you making some up?
No, I mean, I'm sure there is some extremely high-tech tradecraft going on, right? For sure. Tracking devices and various things, satellite imagery, facial recognition, all of these things. But a lot of it's also very low-tech by design because it's harder to trace, right? And it's a lot of leverage and manipulation. You're either bribing someone with money or blackmailing them, and that's typically those are the two tools that are being used the most in tradecraft and in the spy game, right? That's really it's leveraging individuals, and they're all doing it. Everybody, right? Every single. And then if you look at some of the, and again, I'm not getting on any completely apolitical, but from a tradecraft standpoint, what the Mossad was able to do with all those fucking cell phones and pagers and shit, like,
nuts.
You want to talk about play the long game, like build this dummy company, sell all these, get all these devices to all of these people who are your enemy, and then start setting them off years later
Crazy.
to detonate. Insanity.
I mean, it's genius. It really is.
Insanity.
Not endorsing it, but
No,
just saying.
no, but if you
The actual act of doing it,
to look at
incredible.
the patience and the planning and the risks and that they were able to execute, that is shocking.
When you saw that in the news, did you think, if I wrote that, no one would fucking buy it?
Dude, I do that all the time with the news. The Maduro raid. If I had written that,
Right.
no one would. No.
Right. They'd be like, that's too simple. The
Yeah.
fuck out of here. That's not how it goes down.
Yeah.
Even the bin Laden raid, a helicopter crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that they were able to, and I know it wasn't as smooth as it was led on to be, but the fact that no one died, not an American invading the Venezuelan military base in the middle of Caracas, it's fucking insane.
It seems like it went pretty smooth. Do you think it went less smooth than they're saying?
I'm sure that there's elements of, like, I'm sure, right? I don't know how many. The one thing I've learned with all my research into the military is any of these operations, there's actually a line in the upcoming Lioness where someone says, "Did it go smooth?" And the guy says, "Well, smooth as these things go." Right? Because just by the very nature, you start sticking a bunch of people in helicopters with guns, and shit's going to happen. All right. But the fact that there were no casualties, that no one was killed, no American was killed, is incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. It's pretty groundbreaking. Like, this is a new benchmark for what could be possible in terms of an invasion, at least of a third world country. It's just shocking, the difference in the technology that the United States possessed versus them.
Well,
and whether or not they were even available, that stuff was available.
Yeah, war is going to change very, very quickly. With drones, AI and drones are going to alter the landscape of war. We're getting real close to some Terminator shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like it's a good thing.
No.
It's a very, very. You talk about adolescence of us as a species. We're seeing an adolescence in the teenage years of a new type of warfare, and when it grows up, it is going to be a beast. And I just think about it. You can now they've got drones that are the size of airplanes. They can have a payload that is devastating, right? Beyond just simply a Predator drone that's got a couple of Hellfire missiles or whatever it may have. And someone sitting in a Connex in the desert in Nevada can fly that thing halfway around the world, or don't have anyone fly it, pre-program it, and the thing flies itself. And that's, you give the drone a mission and send the drone off to do the mission, and it's fully automated.
Yeah.
And that's some terrifying shit.
I bet that's a lot of what this UAP shit is too. I bet it's experimenting with that type of technology with some sort of a novel propulsion system. Because they were working on novel propulsion systems way back in the 50s and the 60s. They were working on anti-gravity in the 60s.
I don't think we're there.
I don't know.
I don't think we're there.
I don't know. I don't know where we're at.
I don't either.
I don't know where we're at, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that they haven't done something. In fact, Eric Weinstein makes some really interesting connections between, there's a college in upstate New York, a university in upstate New York that has a very overqualified physics department, and it's connected to a hedge fund that does bigger than Bernie Madoff type numbers. And he's like, the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And he goes, and I have a feeling that there's some sort of an undisclosed or a top secret above, top secret access program that's going on.
Oh, I can promise you there's something.
Yeah.
I've always thought a possible solution to petroleum as far as transportation goes, and I've wondered why they've never tried it, is using magnetic force. Right? If you take a positive and negative charge, and they're going to come together. If you take a positive and positive or negative and negative, they're going to, I'm no fucking scientist, but it's going to repel, right? We've taken magnets and they push each other away. Well, how can we not use that if you had a vehicle and the base of it is essentially a positive charge or a negative, whatever it takes to make the magnets repel, and then your road base was essentially the similarly charged metal, wouldn't that make it some bitch?
Wouldn't you have to redo all the roads to make something like that real?
Or put it in the road?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it certainly could be a potential source of transportation for the future. But I think the things that they're doing now probably relates to some sort of anti-gravity propulsion system. And then there was that, I'm sure you're aware of this, all those scientists that went missing or wound up being murdered.
Yeah, dude.
How fucking sketchy is that?
All of
it's a
them
coincidence.
From Los Alamos, all up there at the nuclear, yeah.
Coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, who knows what the fuck those people are working on, and whether or not they made breakthroughs and they don't want other people to know, or whether or not they want to stop the breakthrough because they're aligned with whatever the conventional propulsion systems are and they don't want to lose money. This thing makes them obsolete. They can set back the science for a few years.
Or is it tradecraft? Is it Russian or Chinese or Iranian?
Could be that easy. Yeah. Oh, sure. And that's the other thing that Weinstein was saying is like it's really shocking how little these incredibly important scientists are protected.
Yeah.
They're just fucking driving their Volvo to the university and working on top secret shit.
Yeah.
And no one's making sure they don't get whacked by China.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be curious. And when they look into that, what was it, 11 of them in a year?
15 over a course of a few years, and some of them people are not, they're going, this could be coincidence, but there's a few of them where it's like, okay, these people, like this lady was specifically working on spacecraft metallurgy, this guy was specifically working on cold fusion, this guy was specifically, like there's a bunch of them where you go, okay, something's weird here.
Yeah.
Well, enough to the fact that the government's looking into it. They're like, okay, there might be something here. So the Justice Department's investigating it. They're trying to figure out what the connection is and what could have happened. But it's hard after the fact to try to figure out who did something, especially if somebody got hired from another country. Like, they're not going to tell you. Like, how are you going to know? You didn't catch him? Did you not catch him when they killed the guy? Okay, well, you're probably fucked.
Yeah. 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 It's 15.
Yeah.
And they're all from that area, aren't they? Los Alamos? Around?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that's part of the problem. It's like whenever you have a thing like this where people start looking for connections, they can make some connections that aren't necessarily valid. And so, like, let's say if there's 15, let's say 10 of them are bullshit.
Yeah.
That means 5 aren't bullshit. If that's true, that's a lot. It's 5 super fucking brilliant people that got whacked.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you'd have that many in this specific field in this period of time.
Yeah.
And they're not, I would think of a scientist as being pretty fucking healthy, right? And
I don't know about that. I think a lot of them are just in their own head, and they're probably not even paying attention to their body.
Did they all disappear?
Different people died from different things, and one of the weirder ones was this one lady who was, I think she's the metallurgy lady, where she was hiking with her friend, And they were just hiking together, and the friend turned around to talk to her, and she was gone. And she was just behind her like 30 seconds before. They couldn't find her. They brought in cadaver dogs. They brought in search parties. Never found her. And I think they might have found her body recently. I think there was a report a few days ago that they might have found her body.
I'd be looking real close at the friend. That's just me.
Right.
That's just me.
As a guy who writes scripts.
Hey, so me and Joe went for a hike. I turned around. That fucker's gone.
Hey, I don't know what
I
happened.
looked everywhere
I mean,
for him.
I swear, I had just talked to him 30 seconds ago.
And he's just not there. I don't
No
know
sign of struggle. It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, like a husband and wife go hiking, and the lady falls off the cliff. They're like, "Hey, buddy,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened? You guys arguing? Can I see your text messages?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the one that just fell off the boat.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't want to say it wrong, but I think she it was out in the Bahamas. I read about it. She
Was it a cruise ship one?
no. It was him and his lady, and they're out on a sailboat or something. And
Oh, she
I
whooped.
think the thing
Fell
was
off the side.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, something weird.
What goes
They're
all
not buying it.
It goes all the way back to the Natalie Wood story. You ever look into that one?
Oh yeah, that's right. Her and Walken and Robert Wagner on the.
Yeah. And
Was that
Robert
right?
Wagner and her had a big fight, apparently.
And then she just.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Not the same person as the metallurgy.
Oh, which one is this lady? But she was one of the scientists, correct? I believe she was one of the missing scientists.
She was definitely missing for a year.
Which one was she?
I mean, I don't know I don't know which ones are.
What was her specialty?
Doesn't it just she's a missing lab worker?
Does it say what she worked on?
Nope.
No. Administrative assistant. Yeah, I remember this lady. Yeah.
The other one was her name is Reza.
And the Reza one, that lady, she was the one that has the. So she served as the director of NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and she was in the materials processing group. She specialized in burn-resistant, high-strength metal alloys and rocket propulsion metals. And wasn't she one that had like some weird videos, where she had made? I don't know. Anyway, the whole thing's creepy as fuck.
Wild. And she was hiking in the Angeles National Forest
Yeah.
outside of Pasadena.
Yeah.
That could actually be a fucking mountain lion,
It could be.
you know?
Or it could be a lady who's working on top secret rocket propulsion fucking metals.
Yeah.
And they're like, this lady's a problem.
Wasn't there some town? I want to say it's Arcadia in California. The mayor of that city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arcadia.
Yeah.
She was a Chinese spy.
I would have to think how many people have you recruited that you finally go, well, fuck it, let's try and get the mayor of Arcadia. We got everybody else.
Yeah, they probably like worked her into position to run as mayor, you know? I mean,
And then with the hopes of, she was relatively young, right? Maybe you go run for a state rep and then you run for Congress, and
be the fucking president.
there was a thing in the 70s called Abscam. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Where there were all of these politicians, a few congressmen, some state reps, and they were all like Russian spies, or at least on the take.
Right.
Right. All
Yeah.
of them, Soviet spies. Yeah.
Did you ever see that show, The Americans?
Uh-uh.
I didn't either, but I heard it was great. It was
Yeah,
all
I
about
heard that
sleeper
too.
cell Russian family that was pretending to be normal.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's real. They did that. They really had Russian agents pretending to be American citizens.
Oh, I wouldn't say had. I would say have.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and Chinese. Yeah,
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah,
No, plenty of them.
100%.
Yeah.
Boy, how many Israeli agents are in Hezbollah or in Hamas? Like, probably.
Or in the IRGC.
Yeah, probably. They probably got a bunch of those guys in there.
100%.
Yeah. It's just wild.
Fucking, it's tradecraft, man. That's
Yeah.
a fucking whole other thing.
How hard is it to write about that stuff and, like, get it right, to get it accurate?
I mean, I don't know. You speculate a lot and you look at the past, right? Because there's been enough. It's funny because when they get caught, it's never that big a deal. Like there are always some. It doesn't, for whatever reason, the news doesn't. We could pull it up. There's been any number of Chinese scientists over here, and they were stealing this, and they caught them doing this. It happens all the time.
See the ones that got caught trying to bring in bio. They're trying to bring in. What were they trying to bring in? Diseases or something? Something.
I was looking. There's another one in Vegas recently, but it's like they have these bio labs that are like being run out of like an apartment or something.
CCP-linked biolabs in American soil exposes major biosecurity gaps. Policymakers must act to improve oversight in biological research activity. Wasn't there a guy that got busted that was an Israeli agent and he got released? And he took
the
off.
one I think was in Vegas. I was trying to pull that up.
That's the one in Vegas. Yeah, so this guy, he had all these fucking diseases in his garage.
1,200 samples.
Conclusion of the FBI lab that the community could not be harmed by what was contained in that lab. What? Finding possible biological laboratory in a garage. Inside, investigators found refrigerators with vials containing unknown liquids. Police said in the immediate aftermath, the home is also operated as an unlicensed short-term rental. What is this fucking guy doing? Why? So the question. Go scroll up. It says the question is, why does somebody have these materials in a private residence? It's not a doctor, not a lab, not a licensed medical facility of any sort. And then homeboy got released.
Yeah, but check out the names on some of the vials.
Oh, boy. They located pathogen-labeled containers with labels such as dengue fever, HIV, and malaria, along with 1,000 mice, according to a federal report. Federal government never tested the items, and the CDC only made its determination based on the labeling. What? What the fuck? So in that case, Chinese citizen David He faces federal charges for allegedly manufacturing and distributing misbranded medical devices.
He does not face charges.
He does not face charges connected to the Las Vegas raid, and a trial in California was scheduled for April. What the fuck? Just a bunch of vials of HIV and AIDS and fucking dengue fever and malaria. No worries.
Jesus.
Normal. So what was the Israeli guy? The guy who owned the lab. There was an Israeli guy who they caught who owned, and then they released him, and he went back to Israel. And everybody's like, hey. What?
It's the same case, I think. It says feds drop case against man arrested in Las Vegas biolab investigation.
What's his name?
Ori Solomon.
Oh, Ori. What were you doing? Ori, why do you have the HIV, Ori? There he is. Feds drop case against man arrested in Las Vegas biolab investigation. Yeah, I mean, why investigate? Let it go, guys. No big deal.
He was only charged with illegal possession of a firearm in Nevada.
His immigration status precluded him from owning or possessing a gun. Well, listen, if he doesn't have a gun, how the fuck is he going to defend all his malaria? People try to steal malaria, bro. Got to be careful. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this doesn't... Seems like someone made that go
There's
away.
too much fucking shit in the world to pay attention to, and too much of it is so disheartening. The more you look into it, the more you're like, is it all fucked? Is the whole world fucked? Like, what is going on?
And my guess is because there are so many different two things, right? There's so many different. There's no secrets with the internet and social media and phones. Shit's getting out, but it's also getting out at such a volume that none of it seems to have an impact.
Right.
There's just so much.
Right.
Think about that in the 1990s.
Right.
They're talking about that on Nightline and this and that and Meet the Press and Chinese spy. This is Israeli. You know. That's news. But now it's just another.
The news cycle's a flood. It's like you drop a rose petal in the river while a flood's going by. Like it's gone.
Yeah.
It's here. It's gone.
And it's a sensory overload, and and people are tuning it all out.
They're tuning it all out also because nothing ever gets done. Nothing
No.
happens. And the more people like that get released, the more people are like, they throw their hands in there. They'd rather just watch sports.
Yeah. Yeah. Just forget about it. Yeah.
Well,
I can't believe Simon & Schuster didn't send you my book.
yeah. Well, I don't know what happened. But I'll listen to it on audio tape. I'm glad you did the audio tape, though.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. Pull up you're going to fucking love it. It's oddly entertaining and informative.
How did you have the time to write a book?
So what?
You're
so,
writing 150 different TV shows.
So you know what it is. Do you know anything about it?
No.
Pull it up. I'm going to try and, I don't even want to tell you what it's called. I just want you to see the title.
How to Not Die in Prison.
I told you you're going to like it. So here's the deal. So when I lived in LA, there was a gym on Beverly Boulevard, right at like Beverly and Sweetser, and everybody called it Buns on Beverly because they had all the treadmills kind of right up there, and all the girls are there. And if you get stuck in traffic, you're staring at all their asses. And that was my gym. So me and a buddy of mine shared an apartment together, and we'd jog down there and work out every day. And there was this dude that showed up and started working out in there, and this dude was jacked, but different than like the West Hollywood fit. Like this fucker was yoked and had all these crazy tattoos on him. And we became kind of like friendly and ended up kind of becoming friends. And his name's Tom Nelson. And one day I'm like, hey, so what have you been doing? He goes, well, I'm going to start personal training here. I was working over at the vitamin shop. Guy's like in his 40s. I'm like, vitamin shop in your 40s? That's kind of weird. And I said, yeah. Have you always lived in California? He's like, well, I've been here 19 years, 20 years. Yeah. I said, where are you from? Somewhere in the Southeast. I said, you always live in LA? He goes, well, no, I just got to LA. See, I've been in prison. I said, oh, how long? 17 years. I said, oh, and I didn't ask anything else, right? He does become a personal trainer, and I'd see him over. Well, one day we have lunch and we're bullshitting, and I'm like, so what? Tell me the deal. He's like, oh, I was a fucking criminal, dude, like a real criminal, like biggest drug dealer in Hollywood, and armed robbery, and ran over a DEA agent. Like I was a fucking criminal. But now when I was in, I discovered fitness. I started working out, and I'm like, when I get out, I'm gonna he got himself in good shape. I'm gonna start. This is my passion. I'm going to do this. So he was a trainer there for a while, and then he opened his own personal training gym, and I would go work out over there and hang out with him. He's a cool fucking dude, and it became the biggest private training gym independent in Hollywood. So I go off and I start writing, and I'm shooting Yellowstone, and he reaches out and he goes, hey, I wrote a movie about my life. I'm gonna send it to you. So he sends it to me, and I read it, and it's actually pretty good. But it's sort of a fun '90s kind of. They don't make movies like this anymore. It's like it's The Rock, but we're celebrating the guy, the fucking criminal. But it was good. I said, hey, I'll pass it on to some producers, but nothing ever happened with it. Anyway, so COVID happens. I'm stuck up on this ranch in Montana, and I call him and I say, Tom, where do you get your gym equipment from? Because I need to build a gym because we can't go to a gym. I can't leave the ranch. COVID restrictions, the whole fucking cast is stuck on that ranch. And he said, they shut my gym down, dude. So, I'll sell you anything you want. So I sent a flatbed trailer to LA and picked up a pile of gym equipment from him. And didn't hear from him again. He calls me maybe 18 months ago, 2 years. And I answer, and he's like, hey, man, I'm in a bad way. I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, he's a single father. I got a 5-year-old kid. I got fucking colon cancer. I'm fucking dying, and I'm tapped out, dude. I'm a fucking 60-year-old fella, and I can't get a job. I can't do anything. Is there any work on your movies or anything that I could do? And I said, well, first, colon cancer, how bad? Like, what stage? What's this? He goes, I don't know. They saw it on an x-ray and diagnosed me. And I said, well, let's deal with that shit first. So I fly him to Texas where I know people, and I get him in, and he sees a doctor. And fortunately, the mass wasn't cancer. So they help him out, do the surgery, get that done. And then I say, well, I mean, I get you a job in a movie, but it doesn't pay very good and the hours are shit and you've got a 5-year-old daughter. I mean, you know, to just be a production assistant or something is not going to pay enough to it's not a great, that's not a plan, right? He goes, you think you could like just spot me for a few months while I try and figure shit out? And I said, I have 100% failure rate of loaning money to friends. Like, it doesn't work, right? I'm not a bank, and buying you 90 days ain't gonna fucking help. So, but let me think of something. And so it doesn't take me very long, and I'm thinking, here's a guy who spent 17 years in prison, and you know what I've never read? I've never read a how to not fucking die, a travel guide to prison. So I call him back and I go, I got it, Tom. We're going to write a book about my life. Kinda. We're going to write a travel guide to prison for the accidental inmate, right? Somebody who fucks up and they end up and they don't know how to navigate this place. He goes, a travel guide. I said, I'm going to send you. So I bought a bunch of Lonely Planet travel guide to Thailand and Mexico. And I said, look at these. Right? It breaks it down. It tells you an overview of the country. Then it gives you a glossary of the terms. They teach you the language. They talk about the food. They talk about where you stay. They talk about navigating the country. We're going to do that for prison. And he goes, I'm in. I said, great. I'm going to write all the intros. I'll build the structure and walk you through it. And you're going to, so it's literally a travel guide to prison. And it walks you through day one, how to navigate the yard, being processed in, the food, the commissary, the gangs, the diseases, prison riots, how to get a job in there, how to fucking make a shiv, how to do everything.
Whoa.
It is a tour guide to prison.
How many pages?
A couple hundred.
It sounds awesome.
It's the
I
craziest.
hope I never need it.
No. Well,
Most people who read it hope they never need it.
I'm going to guess 99% of the people who do read it, the one thing it'll do is tell you, you don't ever want to fucking go there. That's for sure, right? And typically if someone's going there, I even say in the intro, I'm like, if you're buying this book because you're going to prison, finish the book before you get to prison. Do not bring this book with you to prison or you'll die on fucking day one. So leave the book at home. But yeah, so then we did. I took we wrote 3 chapters of it. I took it out, and Simon & Schuster read it, flipped, and me and Tom got a book deal. So
that's awesome.
So he was able to sit with me, and we wrote it, and he was able to take care of his kid, and
that's very cool.
Yeah,
good for you, man, for doing that. That's really awesome that you did that. Because I know you're busy as shit. Like, you having another project on your plate, not fun probably. That's awesome.
That one was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, but not fun to take something else on. I mean, I'm sure you.
Yeah, but it was a very entertaining diversion from my other. I can bitch about my other job, right? Bitch about something on Landman or whatever, and then I'm going to sit down and we're writing about smallpox today. Okay, there's some perspective. It's not quite so bad that Billy Bob is an hour late to work, which he's never an hour late to work, but you get my point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a sobering thing. That's a broken system. You want to talk about a broken fucking system?
Yeah.
The prison
I've had the
system
guy on
is
from the
broken.
Alabama Solution on. The guy who did that documentary on the Alabama prison system. It's fucking heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
I used to be roommates with the guy that edited all of those Locked Up. He would go and film those Locked Up. Remember those?
Yeah.
Go to Folsom and Corcoran and all these prisons. Just, dude, it's rough and not designed to rehabilitate, right?
At all.
It's an institution that guarantees you're a criminal when you come out. That's what you'll be. If you weren't a criminal when you went in, which you clearly committed a crime and got convicted, but you're going to be a fucking criminal when you come out. Like the guys like Tom, who, I mean, there's an 80-something% recidivism rate in the U.S. So for a guy to get out of prison and not go back to prison, the odds are fucking 4-1 against you. Like, it's
At least.
Yeah.
It's probably higher than that, right?
I think it's 80-something %, 86, 80, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Well, I'm glad you wrote it.
Yeah.
I'll read it. I promise.
Listen.
I'm going to listen to it. I'll listen to it in the sauna.
There you go.
Thanks for everything, man. Thanks for all the awesome shows. It's been great watching them.
Dude, thanks for watching.
You're the man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Great
you.
to see
Appreciate the guy.
Do we have time to talk about one more thing?
Sure.
That UFC 250.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Justin Gaethje, dude.
Yeah, I just had him on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it
I
was
know.
incredible.
I saw him. Remember when I bumped into you at that fight in Vegas? That's the first time I'd seen him live. And I go to a bunch of prize fights. I love boxing. And I'm watching that guy. If he had decided to be a professional boxer, his striking is that level. Like that dude, he went to work on that guy.
Now I'm glad he's a MMA fighter because he started out as an All-American wrestler in Division I. He's just a great athlete all across the board, and just his particular style of aggression is so well suited for MMA.
Oh yeah,
It's just
it's shocking that he's that good a striker and he was a wrestler.
I know. He's just a wild motherfucker, like across the board. But for him to pull that off the way he did at the White House was nuts. I mean, some books had him a 6-1 underdog.
Yeah.
And Ilia Topuria is so fucking good.
Yeah.
He's so good. And he had him in sick trouble in that second round. I watched it again yesterday. The second round was brutal. I mean, Ilia was just destroying his liver.
Yeah, almost put him down.
Yeah. But even in the second round, he still bloodied Ilia up. His face was busted up. Like, he was getting the most damage to Ilia's face. And that was a giant factor in the fight. Because I don't know what the accuracy of these reports are, but what's being reported is that he had 2 broken orbital bones and a broken nose. So both his eyes were broken and his nose was broken. And Justin was here a couple days later and he looked great. It's just nuts. It's just like he's very deceptively good at rolling with shots, and he's fucking durable as hell and just very clever in how he sets things up and where he finds openings. And one of the things he kept getting off is this: he does a collar tie into an uppercut, and he got that off multiple shots. He did that with Fiziev too. He's really good with that move. He's a beast, man. I'm just so happy for him to win. I'm a giant Ilia Topuria fan as well, and I think he'll be back better than ever. And I think sometimes a loss is like one of the most important things a fighter can ever have, because they realize like you can be beat, and you need to know that you're a human. You need to know that you can't just throw caution to the wind sometimes and just engage in these wild scraps. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more tactical, and sometimes you got to realize like you can't take everybody out, and that's the case with Justin. They couldn't take him out, and he almost did in the second round.
Yeah.
Got real fucking close, but
that freaking Justin, he can time that transfer of power to right at the end of the punch, and just his hands are so heavy.
Yeah, everybody says that too. Everybody who he's fought has said he's one of the hardest guys that's ever hit them, including Khabib, who's one of the all-time greats. Who said Justin hit him harder than anybody.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
see it.
animal.
Yeah, it was impressive, man.
I mean, the fight was like to be there at the White House while that was going on, and to have Justin so happy. Like, there's something about a guy winning who's an underdog that is just so fucking inspiring.
He didn't look like an underdog that night.
No, he did not. After the second round, he didn't. Especially the third. Once the third rolled around, he dropped him, and then he got a head and arm and snatched him down to the ground. I was like, holy shit, man! He's fucking dominating him. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It was wild to watch.
It was wild.
It was awesome, though.
It was fantastic.
Should have been there live.
Man, that would have been a good one.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy to be there live. It just felt surreal. I mean, they had a flyover. They had all
Yeah, I
the
saw
fucking jets
that.
together.
8 jets come
It was
shooting
nuts.
over.
Bro, they were like separated by like that far from each other. I don't know how the fuck those guys do that. It was incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Well,
that
hey,
was awesome.
Thanks, brother. Once again, the book is called How to Not Die in Prison.
Yeah.
And available now, audiobook, everything.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.